Interior Minister sometime either early this year or late last year, we can reconcile the dates, actually held a public briefing at the offices of the Information Services Department and spoke to the IGP's report into the killings during the 2020 and 2024 elections. I don't recall him ever mention Dr. Bosman Assawi's name. So I don't think that there's a basis for that question. As far as I know, there's no such, if you like, indictment contained in any report. The reasons Dr. Assawi resigned are stated in his own letter, and he says that he wants to go back to academia. I have seen that letter, and that is what it is. Indeed, the reason why we've also not communicated is that it will take effect on 31st July. So there was a gentleman's agreement with him to announce it at that time. But somehow, those of you in the media got wind of it and put it out. So there's a need to clarify that that is what it is. No other reason is stated apart from he wanting to continue to pursue an academic career. That's all. Mind you, the conditions of service are not just limited to salaries. Accommodation, vehicles. Since President Mahama came, we've not bought new vehicles. Most appointees under him in this house are using their own vehicles, including Shamima, my deputy. He hasn't bought new vehicles. So he has saved the need to buy new vehicles if he had appointed more people. And then to give them accommodation and other perks, plus their salaries. So the salaries being taken by 233 people is certainly less than that taken by 355 people. But if you go and use dated documents that were relevant in 2024, for analysis being carried out now, you'll be mistaken. And that is why I've had cause to criticize my Joy Online report. That if they had gotten in touch with government, they won't put it out. They appear to have mirrored claims being made by MPP propagandists, some of whom were beneficiaries of the salaries that have been determined. Ministers under the MPP, MPs under the MPP have received back pay, which is a top-up of what they received before they left power, which amounts to the same thing in terms of the conditions as what the appointees and President Mahama are receiving. But because of the reduced numbers, the total figures are lower. When the finance minister did his budget, it's included, when they talk about compensation, it also includes ex gratia and arrears owed to people. So you don't just take the figure and splash it. So for the avoidance of doubt, let me repeat it. It is false that President Mahama's appointees are receiving more now, even though they are fewer. It is not true. There is an outstanding arrears for appointees and President Mahama who served in this house, the presidency, which will be paid. Indeed, I have been in touch with the finance ministry. They are processing it. Once it is paid, you will see that the figures are much bigger. When it comes to ministers, indeed at a point they had 124 ministers. Before they left, I think they had close to 80 ministers, if I'm not mistaken. That is if you add deputy ministers to ministers. What those people took as their final salaries is what ministers under President Mahama are taking. So logically, if we are taking the same amount, when 58 people take the same amount, it cannot be more than when 80 people take the same amount. So there's no logic or truth to what the MPP propagandists are saying. And certainly my Joy Online report was flawed. I don't want to ascribe any ill motive to it. It is just that they need to do better in terms of cross-checking information before they go to press. That is all. So we are debunking the figures and the rationale and the thinking behind it. As for indeed, President Mahama promised to slash down the number of political appointees and people who work at the presidency, the same way he promised to reduce the number of ministers and deputy ministers, and he's done exactly that. Now, if you compare this to the 2024 list, which incidentally President Mahama also submitted last year, even though the list was made up of people who were appointed by President Akufo-Addo, because President Akufo-Addo was not in power as of the deadline that the law gives for the list to be presented, President Mahama submitted it. There were 953 people who worked at the presidency under President Akufo-Addo in 2024, made up of 355 political appointees and 598 civil or public servants. We know that the list of people who work at the presidency had become topical, and combined with the number of ministers that existed under President Akufo-Addo, it raised significant public concern. So President Mahama vowed to reduce the numbers, and he has kept faith. in respect of ministers, currently there are 58 ministers, even though the president promised to work with 60. After the unfortunate loss of 2 of our colleagues, there has been no replacement. So 58 people are currently working as ministers and deputy ministers. And then currently we have 233 political appointees at the presidency and 575 civil or public servants, making 808. Now, there have been a number of misleading claims, some in the media and some by political activists predominantly belonging to the New Patriotic Party. This morning, there were publications by Manjo Online, which sought to create the impression that President Mahama had increased the salaries of political appointees at the presidency. And therefore, they said that even though there had been a reduction in the numbers, the salaries had ballooned. We've also heard propagandists of the NPP make the same claim, even though we know that what they are saying is straightforward. They should know because they were beneficiaries of the arrangement. We all know that when it comes to fixing the emoluments, that is the salaries and working conditions of Article 71 office holders, the law is clear, the constitution is clear, that the president must set up a committee to determine those emoluments. For the avoidance of doubt, President Mahama has not set up a committee to determine the emoluments and working conditions of Article 71 office holders. So the salaries and conditions of Article 71 office holders who are working today under President Mahama were determined by the government that left office on 6th January 2025. This is well known, it is documented. All the NPP activists making those false claims know. Former Chief Justice, Justice Ufa A.B. Akufu, submitted her resignation letter in September of 2025. But that didn't end it. The president needed to accept it before it took effect. And as I explained earlier, once the Council of State became aware of this, they requested the president to hold on with either an acceptance or rejection, so that they engaged their colleague to find out if there was any basis for some rapprochement, to find out what the issues were. They go back to the president to indicate that they had done the engagement and that they didn't think that there was any bad blood that accounted for it, so the president could go ahead. So it is on that basis that the president was then able to accept the resignation. So the resignation at least was communicated in September 2025. Her letter is here. Ordinarily, I should not be showing you this, but in the interest of transparency, I'll show it to you. This is it. It is just a 3-paragraph letter. No reason is assigned. And I doubt if the Council of State itself is seized with capacity to disclose the reason. They have not brought the president any reason. What they have told the president is that they've engaged there and they find that there's really no bad blood or no untoward motive for the resignation. We do know that the former CJ is involved in other courses. She is an active member of the IEA now, and she is particularly strong on the extractive sector. So perhaps, and I'm not saying that is it, perhaps she feels that it may be too much of a workload. That I'm only conjecturing at this stage. But the official reason has not been stated here in her own letter. We cannot divine a reason for her. And that is the reason why I've showed you this, just in the name of transparency. That's all. So there's no basis for a cover-up whatsoever. As to who replaces her, I have indicated that the processes are ongoing. The constitution is clear on how to compose the membership of the Council of State. So once that process comes to an end, an announcement will be made. But I'm not.
You want my opinion, you want my legal opinion, you want an opinion from the heart and the mind and the soul and the spirit. No, she didn't. She didn't. And there were also other things which in the latter part of the proceedings also happened, which you know, I don't even know how to put it, but they were very unbecoming. One, a process that is supposed to be purely in camera, and that expression in camera has been defined by the Supreme Court, and that definition still remains, right? That from the complaint all the way till the president speaks at the end of the matter, it's all what? It's all to be treated as part of the same thing. It comes under the same cover of in camera, and therefore is supposed to be confidential. So you can imagine the umbrage that I felt to receive on social media some social media thing somebody had sent to me, where the fact of which I am not in the least bit ashamed, and if I had to do the same again, I will. The fact that I had gone to give evidence before the committee was on social media. How did that get there? And it was not only myself. So and 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 so. I'm not going to repeat that. I won't use the word that came on my lips. I'm not going to repeat that unbecomingness by even mentioning the names that were mentioned. Isn't somebody entitled to have witnesses on their behalf? And then to come to think of it, then I thought, yeah, but we don't even know who gave evidence on behalf of the petitioner. So why is it that those who gave evidence for on behalf of the respondent, why should we be thrown to the rabid dogs? Because there has to be some not very noble motivation for that. And when it says that they from quote and unquote sources close to the committee, oh really, that is so sad and it's so pathetic. And then on Sunday somebody sends me another thing where somebody's going on and on and on and on and going on about the legal submissions that had been filed on behalf of the petitioner. Really? Why? What's the game? What's going on? I felt sad, and even that in itself made me sad. Have we come to this in this country where a process, the most important thing in every process, whether it is a formal judicial process or it is the most informal process, such as, let's say, ADR discussions and all that, where something is supposed to be confidential, it has to be kept.
But to the extent that the Supreme Court has determined that if there is a breach of the in-camera rule, it does not invalidate the process, should that still be of concern? That
does not matter. I'm still talking about it. Just because it doesn't breach it, it breaches the letter. It breaches the letter of the Constitution, does it not? That it should be confidential. I'm not saying it therefore means anything, but all I'm saying is that for me, it puts an unpleasant aroma onto the procedure.
No matter how many noises are made, the law is the law.
As all, and the law is the law is the law. Those who said, and the law is the law, did not complete the sentence. The law is the law is the law. That is the sentence.
Government is broke, but people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, Ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining the show. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Today is the 16th of June, 2026. And indeed, this is the day the Lord has made. We're glad that we have been able to return here to join the nation's conversation. And also we're glad that we are counted amongst the living. It is indeed a rare privilege. And we say, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Thanks to Almighty Allah for making that possible. We also want to say a big thanks to our distinguished, cherished, and loyal audience for tuning into the show at 7 a.m. from 7 to 9:55. Now 9:55. Well, sometimes it goes beyond 10 because of the World Cup update. So thank you very much. On this show, we invite the right guests. We ask them the relevant questions, and they just don't talk about the issues, but they also figure out what they believe should be the solution going forward. Now, let me look at what the papers and the news portals are reporting this morning. And I will start with the Daily Graphic. It says that no wrongdoing in Big Push contract, according to reports. President orders tougher single sourcing rules. There's 2 EC deputies leave. Former CJ exits Council of State. Government clarifies president's staff numbers. Boku SHS students go on rampage over crackdown on exam malpractice. Medimosis CEO receives continental honor. That's on today's Daily Graphic. The Ghanaian Times says that sole source contract saga, presidency absolves road ministry. There's IGP deploys a special team to probe UCC students' death. Kasaprekon lists on GSC after landmark 1.72 billion cities IPO. There's old flood control methods ineffective, dredging drains, partial demolitions inadequate. Professor Oting Abebio has been talking. You also have the Daily Guide that says EC Deputy Chair Bosman Asare resigns. And there's a Samre Boy, illegal mining, as call throughs out, Apiakubi Kuntumi hires Atachia. And there's GLOA confirms KGL's market dominance. Over 90% of road projects awarded competitively, according to the government. Court rejects OSP's plea to halt no power to prosecute ruling. The Insight, PPF challenges Macron's role at reparations conference, demands concrete action from funds. KGL Technology Limited aims to revolutionize lottery for all Ghanaians. The Central East MTTD commander warns against unauthorized use of sirens. There's Cuba in the eye of the storm, sanctions, energy crisis, and the threats of invasion. And there's also Kasaprekon's GSE listing signals confidence in Ghana's industrial future. Trade Minister. Ghana North MCA faces accusation of encroaching on privately owned land at Fitse. A call for Pan-African unity while the African working class has no foreigners. Daily Post this morning is reporting that Cocoa Board CEO calls for greater trust and unity in Ghana Cote d'Ivoire Cocoa Partnership. GMTF receives 6.1 million cedis from salaries of Mahama and his appointees, and his government begins process to replace Ofer Akufo on Council of State. Samuel Tete retires as EC Deputy Commissioner, replacement process underway. Bosman Asare resigns as Deputy Commissioner of the EC. My Joy Online this morning says, police arrest suspect in murder of a UCC student, according to Innocentia. Okay, so that's the name of the student, Innocencia Avinu. That was quick. The police are working. Cocoa farmers spared another blow as government rejects price cuts despite global slump, according to COCOBOD. As Bossman Asare resigned voluntarily, government didn't pressure him, according to Kwachu Fosu. So Fayakufu didn't resign over Tokono's removal, according to Kwachu Fosu, and we had to save the sector. COCOBOD defends unprecedented cocoa price intervention. And Ghana coach Queiroz enters record books as his 5th World Cup in a row. Police arrest suspects in murder of UCC students now with City Newsroom. City Newsroom has police arrest suspects in murder of UCC students as Ghanaian master students in UK to picket over unpaid fees. 2 jailed 20 and 30 years over new Edibiase filling station robbery, and has published full list of road contracts. That's Media Foundation for Media Foundation for West Africa tells Roads Ministry. This Ghana web says police arrest suspects in connection with murder of UCC student Innocentia. I wouldn't sleep with your wife, or Sibor response to Bishop in Obinim. Ghana's anti-LGBTQ bill risk turning ignorance into a public weapon. Current government more committed to anti-Galamsey fight. Sudan so has been talking. The government exploring multiple avenues to secure World Cup visa for Thomas Partey. And then you have MetroTVOnline.com. It has Black Stars arrive in Toronto ahead of Panama clash. There's Black Stars continue preparations at Bryant University ahead of Panama showdown. There's empty seat at World Cup for imprisoned French sports journalist. Chief Imam calls for national prayers and support for Black Stars at FIFA World Cup 2026. Police arrest man over murder of UCC students. There's President Mahama and appointees contribute 6.1 million cedis to Mahama Cares. All right, so that's it for the newspaper and the news portal headlines. Please stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My guest here, Mr. Mike Okwe Jr. is a former Ghana's High Commissioner to India and also a former Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Free Zones Authority. At some point, he last 2 years, he contested the Dom Kwabenya seat. Unfortunately, he didn't win, but he tells me that he'll give us another shot, and so we can only wish him the best of luck. And also, Professor Ali Duseidu has been a lecturer at the University of Ghana for many, many, many years. He's now the MP for Tamale Central. He's been lecturing in political science, and so when it comes to politics, the science of politics, history, etc., you can't beat him to it. He knows his stuff. He was here once, must have been a few weeks ago, and he's back. He's taking time off his very, very, very busy schedule to join us, and we do appreciate that. Thank you very much to my guests. When I come back, the cameras will be zooming in on them. Don't go away. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television.
Amen.
Through every stage of life, some things simply stay with us. The spirit of never giving up. A throwback to a bygone era when love was service. A silent statement of love. A thoughtful gesture that deepens bonds, balancing work and life. Every drop refreshes, every sip hydrates, just as it should. I am awake, one for life. Drink water, drink awake. Supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA approved.
finding my dream apartment in just 2 days was a breeze with 7terragh.com. Looking for your next home, the perfect piece of land, or the best commercial property for your business? Are you worried about sending money home for property and finding nothing when you return? Well, worry no more. 7terragh.com is just a platform to find prime lands, perfect properties, or vibrant real estate development at the click of a button. 7terragh.com is your go-to property listing platform that allows you to register, list, rent, buy or sell, and connect with correct agents. With our AI-powered smart search, personalized dashboards, verified agent connection, and interactive property maps, all your property needs have been made easier. Check us out on 7terragh.com or contact us on 0302 998 246 or 0561 032 252. 7terragh.com, powered by MNC Properties.
Mommy, good morning.
Good morning, my son. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mom. How about you?
I'm fine.
Joe, I just saw your mom doing her usual morning routine. Like, it was just 2 weeks she underwent a major colon surgery.
Bro, see, my mom is doing perfectly fine, and we're all excited about it. It was minimally invasive surgery, and the recovery has been very fast.
Minimally? Hey! No, wait. What do you mean by that?
So they offered my mom a laparoscopic colon surgery. Laparoscopic colon surgery, which we accepted. It turned out it was equally safe with a very fast recovery time, and the cost involved too was very, very reasonable. She was discharged 3 days after the surgery, and you can see her, she's on her feet again.
3 days?
Just 3 days, bro.
Mean Tuber Hospital, first Ghana Colorectal Center, aimed to serve a peculiar health need.
Looking for comfort, convenience, and class all in one place? Welcome to Stay Easy Apartments on Conference Center, where modern living meets exceptional service. Whether you're staying for business or leisure, Stay Easy offers you a home away from home. Spacious and well-furnished apartments, pool, gym, and everything you need to relax and feel at ease. Planning a meeting, workshop, or special event? Our event ground and state-of-the-art conference center is designed to host your events and bring your vision to life. From corporate gatherings to private functions, we provide the perfect space, supported by modern equipment and a professional team ready to assist you. At Stay Easy, your comfort and success are our priority. Book your stay or reserve your space today. Call us at 020-739-1473 or 0244-226367. Stay Easy Apartments and Conference Center. Stay easy with us.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to Amame Manfo. Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is buying, a man is swing, Nesansu Mama Hotoso, a will bedroom.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Today's class is going to be an exciting one. Now, who can share an unforgettable moment in their life? Okay, Asempa.
I'd like to talk about my first time. It was her natural look, complemented by her favorite green silky apparel that caught my attention. I have to say, she automatically possessed me with her smile, which exposed her beautiful white teeth. That's not all, her enduring signature perfume could be smelled from afar. Madam, why do you look so surprised? My first time with her was special and irresistible. I'm talking about Cindy Rice. Cindy Rice can be found in selected supermarkets nationwide.
Cindy Rice, sweet aroma, great taste. This advert is FDA approved.
From the rich soils of Ghana, our farmers grow the finest ingredients. We clean, hand select, and carefully craft into bold, unforgettable flavors. And when you open our little bag of big taste, it's pure, bold, unforgettable flavor bursting in every bite. Enjoy the goodness, made with big care. This advert is FDA approved.
My new girl is coming over today, and I have to give her a treat of my life.
Hi. Hey.
Good afternoon. How are you doing? Fine. I got you a paint. This is Easy Waterproof Paint, the best ever solution for all sort of leakages. I got it for you.
Thank you. Easy Waterproof Paint can be used on any surface, being it cement, blocks, roofing sheets, swimming pools, and more. It can also be used as primer before you apply any paint to help provide extra protection.
Easy Waterproof Paint. No more leakages.
ready, Toronto. We ready.
Sharp. On mission. One job. Let's go.
Get your man. Alright, guys. Yo. That's that. Voila. Hey, man. Send him again. Nobody wants. Go.
Oh, then there's one. And as you can tell, sorry. As you can tell, the excitement and the expectations is at a fever pitch. Ghanaians can't wait to watch the game tomorrow as Ghana comes up against their Panama. Big, massive. Not because Panama is an elite football nation. It's just because, everybody expects naturally that we should be able to take care of Panama. At least. Even if you have to draw with Croatia and draw with England, that's fine. But as for Panama, we have to beat Panama. And that's why, it's a mixed feeling. People are cautiously optimistic. Of course, after watching the Wales friendly, some Ghanaians began actually to feel a bit more positive about the chances of the Black Stars, because we've seen their past games under Otuado, and we were all sort of we lost hope, basically. But I think that after watching the Wales game, we sort of, our hopes began to rise again. And we're hoping that an improved performance against what we saw against Wales should be able to secure us a victory in that clash with Panama. Remember that Panama has been playing a number of friendly games. They played about 5 or so friendly games. And they're not they're not an extraordinary team, but that in itself then becomes a problem, because there's a tendency for you to think that it's a weak team, it's a walkover, and then they can just stand you, and they can surprise you. If you watch most of the so-called elite teams, I believe that is the reason why countries like Spain, countries like Uruguay, countries like Germany, they did a good job. But countries like Brazil, all these countries have had to struggle a bit, because for some reason they think that the African teams that are playing in this tournament are the same as the ones that we've seen in previous tournaments. And so they come into the game with a certain mindset and they get surprised. They're now struggling to even draw in these games. And so that is the kind of thing that we do not want to affect the Black Stars when we come up against Panama. And that's why Ghanaians are very, very eager to watch this game, but are also very, very anxious about tomorrow's game. So we'll see how that goes. Perhaps I'll pick the thoughts of my guests briefly, even though there was sports at 9:45, with other Michael Odro, Ebenezer, Eben, who is with the Ignite Sports team. But we're in the soccer season, aren't we? So it would make a lot of sense for us to sort of touch base just briefly, and then before 9:45, when the sports team join us to give us an update on what's happening as far as the World Cup is concerned. So Michael Quay Jr. is here, as I did indicate. He's a former aspirant a former parliamentary candidate for the Dom Kobinya constituency, a former chief executive officer of the Ghana Free Resource Authority. He did some marvelous job there, and also a former Ghana's High Commissioner to India. Also, so first of all, good morning, sir. Thanks for joining us on the show. It's always a pleasure to have you join us.
Thank you.
How are you, boss?
Very well, very well. And how are you doing yourself also?
I'm doing very, 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 very well, and I'm in an ecstatic mood. I'm confident that the Black Stars will do some wonders for us tomorrow. But we'll talk about that. Let me just say that Professor Seydou Mahama Alidu is also here with us. He's been lecturing. I don't know if he still lectures, but he's always been in a lecturer at University of Ghana, Legon Political Science Department for many years, until he ventured into mainstream politics. And I use that mainstream politics, and now he's MP for the Tamale Central constituency. So political science is his forte. Don't go there; he will floor you. Because that's all he's been reading and teaching all his life. So that's his forte. That's his area. That's his zone of comfort. Anyway, so Prof, Good morning.
Good morning.
And I say assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wa rahmatullahi
wa barakatuh.
You speak some Arabic?
Small.
You know, there's the basic kaifa halik, which is how are you? And you say alhamdulillah. Yes. You know, all this while we've been calling you Alidu Say. I mean, little did I know that apparently the Alidu is actually your surname.
Yeah.
Wow. But you don't correct us when we call you for an interview.
Sometimes
you think I'm like that.
I just think we shouldn't waste so much energy. I've done that over the years, so I just decided to accept it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but I see a lot of academics being very, very passionate about their titles. You know, I mean, someone like Professor Kwesi. When you call Professor Kwesi and you just say Kwesi, hey, he will fight you. You know, because he tell you that you don't know what it takes to become.
But it depends on the context. If it's in an official setting,
right,
then I think he has the right to insist that you call him officially.
Right.
But if it's in a friendly setting, I want to see because he just says, "Hey, my guy, how are you?"
So how would you describe, say, an interview? You know,
yes, in an interview setting, because of letting the populace know
who he is.
Who is this person? That person is a professor.
Right.
Professing certain things, usually in an area of expertise.
Right.
So that is why, for example, you would also want the people on the media to know that he's a member of parliament or he's a former Indian High Commissioner, just for them to have the context of the person talking.
Wow. What it makes
it also induces competence, kind of. So when you give the designation of the person, and sometimes they say he's an expert in this. So it means that you are getting an expert opinion about the issue rather than just a mainstream man's perspective. And you have also invited him to that platform, or you've called him because of his expert knowledge.
Right.
So it gives him more credibility and more respect when he talks. So I think people are more careful about.
So Seydou, let me ask you this. If we called you, if Metro TV had called you, assuming you're not an MP and you're going to be called to speak or to comment on matters on, say, governance or political science or politics and so on, and somebody says, Seydou Mahama Alidu is an expert in political science, will that be the same? Will that suffice? Would that make up for?
Dr. Seydou Alidu is, or Professor Seydou, yes.
So the title must always come.
Yeah, the title must come. Because there are a lot of experts. People are experts in a lot of kinds, but without an academic qualification to commensurate with the expertise. So that is like the underpinning thing. And you know, academia is so regimented that the distinction between what distinguishes us is the rank. It's just like the military.
Right.
It's so regimented. So sometimes when you address someone and you don't give him the right title or qualification, some people are very quick to correct you.
Right.
But also, when you call me Seydou, it is understandable. But you can't say Alidu.
Yeah.
The title goes with the last name. So you can call some Kwame or this. But if you are going to call him by his last name, the title goes with the
last name.
And people are very particular about it.
Right.
They are very particular about it.
Have you ever considered, how do you call it, doing a PhD?
Particularly, no.
Okay.
I mean, recently I had a situation where we were doing some subcommittees and they wanted someone who was an expert in a certain area. And I'd been put there as the, sub-chairman. And coincidentally, as we were having a conversation, I made the person who was in charge understand that, I actually have a degree in conflict, peace, and security at the master's level. They said, then you are most appropriate even for that, even though we are referring to you as a former ambassador and so on and so forth. So these are some of the things that you need to sometimes let people know more out of information than necessarily taking a title.
Okay.
Because it's very important that people know your competencies. Then even certain things can be given to you on a platter. I don't know if you saw my recent article in the graphic.
Yes.
Where I wrote about, the third term issue that some people were talking about. And some people said, you should have put in more political jabs. I said, no, that was an academic paper.
Right.
So let us stick to the academic nature of it. Exactly. So I think we need to do more of these things to enhance the terrain of knowledge in this country.
Right.
It's very important so that politics is not just seen as an area of loud mouths, but people who are qualified in various areas who sit down to discuss national issues.
Yeah. I think that I have a better appreciation, a deeper insight into why academics are very, very. They don't take the titles lightly at all. They take it very seriously.
When you finish the PhD or the master's,
you will
understand.
See why people. It's not easy.
It's not easy. Master said, Charlie.
and that form.
Anyway, but we'll get into. I was before we came on air, we were debating whether to touch base with our Black Stars, whether to travel to Canada or to wait till 9:45. But I think that they said the majority carry the vote. It appears that the majority are of the view that at least let's talk about Black Stars small, not plenty, before we get into.
But this is the World Cup season.
The World Cup
it's in order.
It's in order
because I think after the next month, maybe July 17th or so, we'll go into other matters.
I agree.
But this is a very interesting thing, especially the way they've treated our brother Thomas Partey. Totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable.
But Prof, I don't know, but before we even, first of all, how's the constituency?
Inshallah is going well.
Okay.
There are a lot of critical issues that comes up as you move around the constituency, as you speak to people. There are various shades of opinion and interest and needs that has to be aggregated at the MP's level and dealt with. So I think we are doing more listening, we are doing more visitations, and we are trying as much as possible to mobilize resources to try to address the challenges that are emerging. So it's just like the governance process always addressing the interests and the collective needs of the people. And it's a process, it's not an event. So I think we've started well, and we are pushing harder to see how best we can deal with most of the issues that comes up before the next elections and moving forward.
What are the key socioeconomic issues in Tamale Central?
So, it's largely an urban constituency. So the issues of job, economic empowerment is very key. And one thing I like about what I have seen and heard so far is the fact that majority of the youth don't come to you and say, MP, give me money to spend.
Okay.
They are coming with CVs. They are coming with qualifications. And they just need to be fixed somewhere so that they can work to do the certificate that they have earned and be able to cater for themselves and their family. And that is a very big plus. In the past, you used to see a lot of people coming in for maybe money to be able to feed. But majority of our youth have had a lot of education and brilliant qualifications. So I think we just have to expand more of the public sector, create job opportunities, and then the social intervention programs that is in our manifesto. Government has started rolling out some of them gradually, and we are getting the non-certificated individuals within the constituency who have certain competence and skills in other areas to place them into some of these social intervention programs. And I do believe maybe by the time that the year ends and then subsequent next year, most of these things will have been rolled out completely, and most of our people will be fixed in. And I believe that gradually the unemployment situation in my constituency in the region, Ghana at large, will be reduced through a deliberate effort of the government.
In John Mohammed's thank you tour when he went to the northern region, I heard him say that some funding has been secured for the Tamale Water Project. I've forgotten exactly what the timelines are, but his commentary that day for me suggested a certain sense of urgency. First of all, how serious is the water problem there in the Tamale environs? Yeah, and what do you know about? Do you have any update on this project?
It's serious in the largely Tamale environment, but in the northern region as a whole. And this is also the peak time. Okay, I think once we are in rainy season, it's a little bit better, but once we move into the dry season, it becomes very difficult. So when President did his thank you tour, he mentioned that we had secured some money. I think the processes started earlier on to be able to work on the Tamale Water Project and also Yendi. And I think, is it Damongo? I think there were
Damongo, yes.
Three cities. But there was a little bit of a hitch, and I think government is doing everything address it and to make sure that this rolls out. But we are not also just waiting on government to come and do it. Even though we know the government is committed to doing it, we have also started our own initiatives. We have worked collaboratively with civil society organizations and NGOs, and we are sinking boreholes in the constituency. And I think so far we've done about 10 to 15 of them.
Really?
So I think, and there are still more to come.
What's the target?
So we are pushing.
What's the target? How many do you want to
I don't
take?
want to put it there, but I want to do as much as I can,
much as
I can to alleviate the water crisis problem of the country.
You know, I asked about target for a reason. I mean, assuming you wanted to do, say, 100 boreholes and you've done, say, 10 already, somebody may be watching who may want to call and say, well, is there where I can help Prof? Because the target is quite huge, and the person believes that they have what it takes to help, and that's why I asked about what the target is. Do you want to dig 100, 50, 30? What is it?
I think I really don't want to put a figure. Because a figure can motivate you to do more.
Yeah.
But it can also put you so much under stress.
Right.
But as much as I can be 1,000. It could be 500. It could be 100. As much as the capacity and the resources come in, I should be able to do. So even if you are listening to me and you can give me 100 boreholes or you can sing 50 for me, you are welcome to contact me or contact the host of the program, and then we'll see how we roll things out.
All right.
But I do believe that I'm committed to enhancing the welfare and the well-being of the people of Tamale Central and to addressing the water crisis on my own as an MP. But I also know that very soon government intervention will roll out, and I believe that collectively we should be able to reduce that incidence and crisis within it.
I noticed that some MPs are setting up viewing centers for the World Cup. Are you doing the same in Tamale Central?
No, not for now.
Not for now. Okay. Why? The youth don't want it?
Not necessarily. It's resource driven. So if you look at colleagues that have done it, they said they've been able to get support and sponsorship from other organizations. So we've also started talking to corporate entities to see. Eventually, maybe Ghana matches, but it's not given that is going to happen.
Any idea how much it will cost to set it up?
I don't know.
You have no idea. Okay. Well, if you're watching us this morning and you can support MP to set up a viewing center for his constituents to watch the Black Stars, they're coming up against Panama tomorrow, he'll be more than grateful. Call me, or just call Metro TV. I don't want to put my number out. Once I put it out there, I'm in trouble. But you can call Metro TV, or let me rather give your number to them. If you don't mind. Which one should I don't have about 5 numbers. Which of them?
No, more. I agree with him on this agenda. I mean, it was also suggested to me to do same. And at the same time, you see, we also don't want to deny revenue to most of these little bars and big spots because they make a lot of revenue when people come there to watch the matches. People will eat, people will drink, people will socialize. So I was also told that if I go and do something big in the middle of somewhere, it will actually deny revenue to some of these people. So I should rather visit bars where people are watching and join them rather than try to create something different. 2, rain. You know, if you go and set something up and you're not careful to get, very big tarpaulin and all the rest, you're rather going to create problems for people. Venues, buses, how many people, what match. So I agree with my brother completely.
The thing about it, I get all of that, and they are very valid reasons. There's a valid argument, but the people still like it. They love it.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It depends on the context. But if he has decided not to do it, I've decided not to do it. There are others who may do it. But
no, in his case, he said if he gets the funding or the sponsorship, he will do it.
But in my case, we've done research and realized that people also want to congregate in sports and bars to also watch, and the people too can make some money. So if you just think about it on one side, it may also create
understand you. And I'm happy that you are contextualizing this, because I'm sure somebody's watching today and say, "Oh, Charlie, but why Gabo no sort way out with?" And I'm happy you've given this reason. I mean, somebody who's watching today will now understand why you haven't done it, not because you couldn't have mobilized the resources.
But sometimes you have to do the research properly.
It's very important.
Yeah, and
extremely important.
And then talking about the water thing, how's the Yendi water project going?
So,
Yendi water project,
So I just talked about it. So it was
Yendi part.
Yes, Yendi Tamale Damongo.
Okay, because Yendi water is something that I worked on in India to get it signed and done.
Really?
So yes, very much. It was one of the water projects that I worked on when I was in India.
Okay.
And it was a very exciting one. So I just
was it the one that the former president or the vice president went and cast salt for?
Yes.
I think they did something like that.
Yes.
But I think
project.
nothing has happened
And
yet.
then, yes. So, but the funding has been put in place at that time. And the project started. That's why I'm asking, how far have we
Nothing has been done.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you know
I
if
think
it was just the salt cutting bit that I'm
Okay,
aware
so
of.
the Yendi water project has not even started.
At all.
To the best of my
Is
knowledge.
that to suggest that the funding didn't hit our accounts?
That may be another.
That may be
reason.
another.
I don't know why. Because I
Okay.
knew there was a flamboyant sword cutting ceremony
Okay.
and assurances that it will be done.
Okay.
But I think since then, even it's still a big problem. And I believe when you go there and you speak to people in Yendi, they will tell you that's still one of the major challenges that, that they face.
Okay.
And that's also the reason why Yendi is part of the 3 cities that this government want to build on the previous initiative that was started, so that they'll be able to get water.
Okay.
So just like government is continuous, the Yendi water project, the funding has been secured. So at least we can build on it.
Why is it not happening?
And then, I don't know. I mean, you are now
What
the
is
government. That's what I was
trying to say, that he's done his part.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
He's done
yes.
his
So
part.
I just wanted to get an update.
Yeah.
So how far? Where are we? Has it started?
But before
And it's a good thing
you
in that
left
regard.
India, are you able to confirm whether indeed the money had actually
No, the money had
to
been
Ghana?
secured, and the signatures had been done.
Okay.
So
had it been transferred from India
So
to
that
Ghana?
is why when the project starts, that's when you can apply for it.
Oh.
And that's why I wanted to know how far it's gone at the moment. So
Then maybe
just
some
because you are
have
the
to follow up, yeah.
MP, thank you very much. As you are the MP, I'm just telling you that this has been done. So follow up.
Then I can liaise that with the MP for Yendi.
Yeah, I remember the
Or even speak to Galus.
Yes.
Yes. The Impakadan Tema Road,
Yes,
for example,
yes.
when I was going to India, I was told that this is something that has been started.
Okay.
So make sure you get the funding for it. And so I went ahead and got it.
Okay.
So I'm also giving you Apple.
That's fine.
So use it to
we'll follow up.
chase it up.
You did well. You did very well. Yes. I mean,
and you also have to give us the network, the contacts.
So anytime you contact me,
you can follow up.
I must say 2 of your colleagues have already contacted me.
Okay.
One is $150 million exit facility. I've already given them the information that they can use, because as I said, government is continuous.
Yeah.
And we'll look at that also.
Oh.
So
Kudos,
I'll
Mike.
see you after.
Kudos.
after
Kudos.
the-
Yes, please
No
do.
worries.
Please do.
No worries.
Which of your numbers should I give out, Prof?
020.
The 020, okay. So in case you want to help Prof, or you want to sponsor a viewing center for Prof in his constituency, that's in Tamale Central, please call the number 0208 278 432. 0208 278 432. When you
Add
call
my number if they also want to sponsor one, please. Then they should sponsor free.
No, but,
Then I want-
no, but you are
they-
saying in your case, there's a change. There's a change in plan.
Yes, I can change my mind. and also want
No,
it.
when you do, please
if
tell
you
us.
add it,
No,
so
when you-
add my number.
No, when you
And
change
then-
your mind.
I've changed my mind.
You change your mind.
I thought you
Yes, I
said
also
you
want
always
to say-
suggested that it's
Yes,
not viable.
I know, but since you have decided to go for the freebie, yes, you have a freebie. That one, maybe those who can't afford to go to the sport will also go. So add that.
What has happened to the research?
We are improving it. Have you heard the saying before?
You know, researchers, we are sorry. We are sorry, researchers. Yes. You do the research on the man says,
If you
now,
don't change your mind. No, but
it's
I
not
mean, I'm
sure.
just saying that was one of the reasons why I agreed with him not doing it.
Yes, so I agree.
But after he agreed not to do it, you are giving a free number for him to look at. So me to give mine.
No problem.
This is a very simple issue.
So I'll give out two numbers.
I don't
now.
understand more.
So you
I'll give
call his
Ali-
number after we are done.
Okay. So I need to say this number, Prof, is 0208 278 432. Now let me give you Michael Quay's number. Yes, Mike said there's a change of there's change of plan, or
there's
change
an improvement of
decision.
plan, isn't
Or there's an improvement of plan. Okay, so Mike Okway, Mike Okway Jr. His number is 0243 364 603. 0243 364 603. So that's Michael Quay Jr. In case you want to also sponsor a viewing center in the Dom Kwabenya constituency for for Mike Okwe Jr. You know, it's also called Yao. Yes. And it's also called Ninoti. So whichever one you want to use, that's fine. So you can call him. I'll repeat it at some point during the discussion. But let's do this briefly before we take a break. I mean, tomorrow we're coming up against Panama. I am cautiously optimistic. I don't know how you feel, Mike, about tomorrow's game.
I think you've summed it up in the English word, cautiously optimistic. You know, Ghana is sometimes a strange team. In the matches where we expected to overrun our opponents, we seem to be a bit, I would say, maybe overconfident or lackadaisical, and we may underestimate the opponent and maybe draw or lose. So we'll see what happens tomorrow with Panama. But, my brother, the Panama match is a must-win. Otherwise, we are coming home very early.
That's true.
Very, very early shower for the Black Stars. Because at least we should win that and then look at the rest. Either 2 draws or 1 sneaky win. And then who knows what will happen.
Yeah.
As much as our team is not necessarily the best at the moment, and unfortunately, some of our key players are either injured or a bit just over the age.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the Ayew brothers, for example, when you look at Kudus, who unfortunately has gotten injured just before the World Cup. Partey is there, but a bit, at the twilight
of his career.
And then even so, most unfortunately, he's not been allowed to join the team for the first match. I'll quickly slip in people like Jiku and so on, who have been holding the fort for us. If I were to ask you today, who is Ghana's #1 goalkeeper?
I have no idea.
No idea. In those days, it's Olele, Olele.
Yeah.
If it's #2, it's either Harrison Affo or Pencil.
Yeah.
There, Harrison Affo is on the other side. On the left, Kojo Samoa is there playing this kind of pedigree.
Yeah.
We're talking about people like Stephen Appiah. At that time, ACN, Sule Muntari. These were all in serious Syria A or Premiership clubs.
Yeah.
Now it is difficult to find that. The goalkeeping area really worries me, and very much sad about this Thomas Partey issue, because he's one of our most experienced midfielders, and to have this unfortunate behavior by the Canadians, I know that is within their, somebody would say, their purview to reject a visa for anyone, but this must be done with a reasonable reason, and it cannot be reasonable to say that a man is virtually being treated as guilty before proven innocent. And I want to protest vehemently through the media, through diplomatic channels, through all means. I support the government's position 110%. Why should he be victimized? Look, we know a lot of situations where rape has been found to be a crime. Yes. But you have to convict the person first before you can say the person is guilty. But at the same time, we also know many, and I mean many situations, where people have claimed rape as a means of revenge. We even had some in Ghana here, if you remember the previous KKD case, where it was a clear act of vengeance, and eventually he has been cleared and he's an ambassador.
Yeah.
But nobody has mentioned the woman's name up till today. You remember the footballer Mendy, whose salary was held, he was disgraced, and then eventually he was found totally innocent. I think he was a goalkeeper.
Yeah,
And,
Mendy, goalkeeper. Yeah.
and the lady's name has never been mentioned. I'm not saying that we shouldn't report such crimes, but we must only deal with the people after conviction.
Yeah.
That is when we can now punish them with visas and so on and so forth. But for any kind of human rights group or male group or female group to come up with such a measure, you are virtually treating the man as if he's guilty. I even heard rumors that the British team were saying that they won't shake his hand. How dare they?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? In this world that we are today, even the president of America, has he not been accused of rape?
Yeah.
And because he's not been convicted, he's the president.
True.
Why are people trying to make it look as if you're a black person, you have no rights, we can treat you anyhow, we can talk to you anyhow? I mean, it's so unfair. And we will not accept this in Ghana or any part of the world, for that matter, for our black brothers to be treated like that, usually just because it is someone who is European or white or mixed race or whatever they are trying to talk about. Totally unacceptable. Yeah. And Ghanaians must rise against this. And Ghanaians must speak against it. Because, next time, just remember, when the fire is burning somebody's beard, put the water ready for yours. And I just think that all the diplomatic channels, the Canadian ambassador to Ghana must put this out and let the Canadians know that we don't accept it. I don't think they can do that to a British footballer who is being accused falsely. The British government won't tolerate it. True. And Canada should remember, we are all members of the Commonwealth. Yeah. We are all together. In fact, the current Secretary General of the Commonwealth is from Ghana. Honorable Shirley Ayokobuchi. Let us treat each other with some modicum of respect. Let us regard each other no matter our color or no matter our stature as a country that is powerful or not. And they should treat us with fairness that we deserve in the international space.
Prof.
Yeah.
Apparently, Canada has very strict immigration rules that a person facing a pending criminal charge may be denied a visa or entry if the alleged offense would also be considered a crime under Canadian law, regardless of where it occurred. So that's where they're coming from. So
before I even go to look at the politics of sports, I think sports has been one of the most interesting but unifying events that occur across the globe. Regardless of the differences the world faces, regardless of the differences that a country may go through, when it comes to the issue of sports, I think we all rally around the national flag, and then we push harder. And I believe that this is another moment of unity, reconciliation, and then a sense of purpose to give the Black Stars all the support that they need and they deserve to be able to work. I think when we support them and give them the kind of motivation that they require, they will be able to perform beyond the anticipated marks that we have given them. And I also believe that they know they have been playing football for all these years. They know that we shouldn't be complacent. We should not just assume that Panama is not a soccer nation or this country is not a soccer nation. Now we don't have soccer nations, and any country can surprise a soccer nation team. So basically, what we have to do, we have to eschew complacency and then take every match that comes on our way as if we are playing the finals of the World Cup. So once we are able to eschew complacency and then instill discipline in our team and work together as a team, I think collective teamwork is very, very important. We should be able to overcome. And I believe they have also received all the support that they need from government to be able to perform well. And I can't say any other thing than to wish them well tomorrow and then all the matches. But there's a little bit of politics of sports. I think we cannot just talk about this World Cup without looking at the element of politics. They have always been those things. Host countries usually have their standing immigration regulations, and some of them may not waver when it comes to hosting tournaments like this. But some other countries are also willing to at least waiver a little bit of some of these requirements to be able to allow full participation of all the teams. When you look at this particular World Cup, it seems like it's one of the World Cup that has been weaponized so much by the countries that have the privilege to host it. You've heard of the visa refusal of the Somalian referee who was selected by FIFA and certified to go and handle some of the matches. The treatment of the Iranian team, simply because of geopolitical reasons. They are playing most of their matches, all of their matches in America, but they are staying in Mexico and they are traveling. And then this Thomas Partey case. I think something has to be done from FIFA to make sure that one of the requirements for hosting, although I know FIFA always tries to be apolitical in terms of sporting activities like this, but I think it's high time we started revising some of these notes, that if you can't at least waiver some of your principles to allow full participation and the benefit of the interest of the competition, then maybe you may not be qualified to host it. So that we do not allow countries to weaponize political antagonism to derail the interest and the collective benefit of the sporting event. I wish Ghana all the best tomorrow, and then all their subsequent matches to the finals when we bring the cup to Ghana and present it to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
All right. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll delve into some other issues that have come up. There have been some, what I call resignations galore. We'll find out what's happening. Why these resignations? Stay with us.
Through every stage of life, some things simply stay with us. The spirit of never giving up. A throwback to a bygone era when love was service. A silent statement of love. A thoughtful gesture that deepens bonds, balancing work and life. Every drop refreshes, every sip hydrates, just as it should. I am awake, one for life. Drink water, drink awake. Supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA approved.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kelkit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kelkits, happy smile.
The Black Stars made their first appearance at the FIFA World Cup in 2006 in Germany. And now, after 20 years, they are here again in 2026.
And there was nothing Petacek could do.
Imagine you had invested in genuine lands back in 2006. Just imagine how much it will be worth today. The best time to have made investment in land was yesterday. The second best time is now. As you support the Ghana Black Stars to victory in this World Cup, Estate Masters is also supporting your dream of owning genuine land with unbeatable discounts on outright purchases on our various sites. We offer you free site visits and free documentation. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
Me didn't tum Mr. Freddy Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Freddy once now. Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain was key to double the action. Me did it, Sasso spray. Mr. Freddy Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso. Come on, Tom Preco.
Ghana for the second World Cup running, the only Africans left standing.
What's getting another word? We could take close to 200 doctors. Oh, Piazza Nampi, challenge today, the jackpot day. We dare live.
He's in the area. He's gone.
Oh,
it's the Wolaki World Cup Sikapuduo promo. Every 11th June, Kosi 31st July 2026. Play and win your share of the 1 million Ghana City jackpot with a minimum stake of just 10 Ghana Cities. 20 lucky customers go win their share of the 20,000 Ghana Cities daily jackpot. Top 10 agents go chop bonus every weekend. Trying to Wolaki app, Wolaki website. Wo agent to ana dial star 288 hash. Wolaki World Cup Sikapuduo. Kitty one dickers, yeah.
Auntie, one man no chopo. Blow the opera mame.
Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly. Not for persons under 18. Licensed and regulated by the NLA.
Play small, win big.
My name is Klaus von Backenstein, Managing Director of Ignite Media Group, owners of Metro TV, Original TV, Original FM, and Metro Digital. This is your home for all the World Cup matches, the fun reactions, behind the scenes, Black Stars diaries, and all the exclusive happenings in the US, Canada, and Mexico. Don't miss out. Stay with us, and as the Minister himself said, Honorable Kofi Addan, Ignite Media Group is your credible source for everything World Cup 2026. If it's not here, it's not authentic. So stay here and stick with us.
Catch every moment loud and live on Metro TV, Original TV, and Original 91.9 FM.
Metro TV, Original 91.9 FM. We're representing live at the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Philadelphia and Boston. Anything about the World Cup from the Black Stars training camp, from the Black Stars Hotel, interviews with the team, interviews with the coaches, we will bring it to you live on Metro TV, Original TV, and of course, Original 91.9 FM. Once again, the name is Gideon Ochenim Gattuso, Raise the Power 7, reporting live from the US of A. Stay tuned for more.
The World Cup coverage on all IMG platforms is brought to you by Estate Masters Limited.
Interior Minister sometime either early this year or late last year, we can reconcile the dates, actually held a public briefing at the offices of the Information Services Department and spoke to the IGP's report into the killings during the 2020 and 2024 elections. I don't recall him ever mention Dr. Bosman Asawi's name. So I don't think that there's a basis for that question. As far as I know, there's no such if you like, indictments contained in any report. The reasons Dr. Asare resigned are stated in his own letter, and he says that he wants to go back to academia. I have seen that letter, and that is what it is. Indeed, the reason why we've also not communicated is that it will take effect on 31st July. So there was a gentleman's agreement with him to announce it at that time. But somehow, those of you in the media got wind of it and put it out. So there's a need to clarify that that is what it is. No other reason is stated apart from he wanting to continue to pursue an academic career. That's all. Sometime either early this year or late last year, we can reconcile the dates. Actually held a public briefing at the offices of the Information Services Department and spoke to the IGP's report into the killings during the 2020 and 2024 elections. I don't recall him ever mention Dr. Bosman Asare's name. So I don't think that there's a basis for that question. As far as I know, there's no such if you like, indictments contained in any report. The reasons Dr. Asare resigned are stated in his own letter, and he says that he wants to go back to academia. I have seen that letter, and that is what it is. Indeed, the reason why we've also not communicated is that it will take effect on 31st July. So there was a gentleman's agreement with him to announce it at that time. But somehow, those of you in the media got wind of it and put it out. So there's a need to clarify that that is what it is. No other reason is stated apart from he wanting to continue to pursue an academic career. That's all.
Right. So yesterday we heard the news that 2 deputy electoral commission chairpersons have resigned. In fact, one has resigned, one has retired. But this is Ghana, so people then began to read all kinds of meanings into it. In fact, in the case of one of the chairpersons, he actually gave a reason why they were parting ways with the Electoral Commission. The other one, by virtue of the fact that they had finished serving his term, so he had to retire. But that in itself has triggered all kinds of conversations, and people, social and political commentators have begun to connect the dots as they deem fit. And so the government took advantage of the Government Accountability Series to basically address some of those issues. But will people allow sleeping dogs to lie, or there are still more questions that deserve some answers? So today's Daily Graphic this morning is reporting that 2 EC deputies leave. Former CJ exits Council of State. Kester Abram Kranche says the government has announced the resignation of former Chief Justice Sofa A.B. Ekufu from the Council of State, alongside changes at the Electoral Commission EC, while also providing clarity on presidential staff numbers, firmly rejecting claims of salary increases for political appointees. Dr. Bosman Asare has submitted a letter announcing his resignation as a deputy chairperson of the Electoral Commission, effective July 31, 2026, while another deputy chairperson, Samuel Tete, has retired. Justice Ekufu submitted her resignation from the Council of State in September 2025 without stating any reason. The Minister of Government Communications and Presidential Spokesperson Felix Kwachi Ofosu disclosed at a briefing yesterday. President John Dramani Mahama initially delayed accepting the resignation at the request of the Council of State. We sought to engage her to determine whether her concerns could be addressed. Following consultation, the Council informed the President that the resignation could be accepted. The President has formally accepted her resignation, and she is no longer a member of the Council of State. Processes are now underway to appoint her replacement. So that's one issue, even though it's about resignation. Now, back to the deputy chairperson. Dr. Asare, who was appointed to the EC in 2018, stated that his reason for resigning from the EC was to return to academia at the University of Ghana. He thanked the President and the people of Ghana for the opportunity to serve. And we're told the Council of State is already considering a nominee to replace Mr. Tete, who was appointed to the position in August 2018, with a replacement expected also for Dr. Asare. Now, you know that these changes at the EC, as reported by the Daily Graphic, which is actually true, particularly Dr. Asare's resignation, come even after petitions for the removal of key personalities at the commission could not pass the basic threshold for the removal per the judgment of the Chief Justice. Prof, what's happening? I'm sure you've heard the comments that have been made by conspiracy theorists. Apparently, the NDC had threatened that when they come, they would deal with Dr. Bossman Asare and Jean Mensah, the Electoral Commission. So, for some people, this is what has just started. In fact, you heard Felix yesterday when he said Bossman Asare himself jumped, figuratively. He wasn't pushed, which is to basically dismiss any such, propaganda, let me put it that way. What else do we need to know about these resignations? First of all, the Council of State one. I'm talking about Sophia Kufu, who we all know is on public record to have disagreed with the manner in which Gertrude Torkornoo, the former Chief Justice, was removed from office. Some say she shouldn't have spoken publicly to the issue, especially when the matter actually came before them, as stipulated by the Constitution when you're removing, a Chief Justice. So, of course, some also said she did nothing wrong. So I don't know. Put all of that in perspective for us.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think Ghana is a democratic state, guided by the Constitution and other legislative instruments. So, as individuals, we all have the freedom to associate, to work with an organization, to work with a company, or to decide not even to work. And we also have the freedom to self-determination. You may be working with this organization and then you decide that you're going to change to another organization for personal reasons or whatever reasons that it is. So if you look at the case of the two deputy electoral commission officers, one is straightforward. Mr. Samuel Tetteh has come to the age limit of his service, so he's retiring. So there's no qualms about it. Dr. Bossman Asare, he has been very specific in the reason why he's resigning. So he said that I think he has served Ghana in one particular capacity. Before he became the EC deputy chair, he was at the Department of Political Science. He was my former head of department. And then when MPP government came, he was appointed to that particular position. And he accepted, thinking that he's going to serve the country in another capacity. So I think he believes he has done it to the point that he wants to go back to academia. And I think in a lot of countries, usually, I think particularly Japan and other Southeast Asian countries, they usually want people who have served in the public sector with practical experience to go back to the classroom. Because it's there that you are able to combine both theory and practice to be able to better shape and train the way our future leaders deserve to be trained. So if he believes that he's going back to academia, he stated it clearly that that's the reason why. Now, people are reading a lot of meanings into it, that NDC said when they come to power, they're going to sack him and then Jean. But if that is actually the reason that is pushing him, why is the EC chair herself not resigning?
Right.
You understand? If it was that kind of, there's a government pressure behind the scenes and that has pushed him, then why is the EC chair herself not resigning? And just like you've mentioned, there was another petition recently to get 2 deputies and the EC chair herself removed. And the president submitted it to the Chief Justice. And the Chief Justice found no, what's the name? Prima facie case against it. So if it was vindictive from government, though I understand perfectly that the judiciary is an independent institution, but also know that they can sometimes be a little bit of political influence. So if it was government-induced or government instigated, you will have seen that things will have worked very differently. So I believe that, like Felix Ofosu-Kwakye mentioned, Dr. Bossman Asare believed that it is high time he started serving this nation in a very different capacity, and government had no hand in it. But now, the difficulty has to do with the former Chief Justice, Justice Sophia Kufu. As we were told, her resignation letter dated September 2025, last year. But she didn't state the reason why she's retiring. Resigning. And then the Council of Elders pleaded with the president to hold on with the acceptance so that they can engage her and see if there are reasons that they can deal with so that she will stay. But I think that effort didn't yield much needed results. And they had to give the president the green light to accept. So because she didn't clearly state why she is resigning from the Council of State, it has opened up a lot of speculations, both positive and negative. Some people mention that it is likely because she disagreed with the Council of State decision regarding when they were going to move the former Chief Justice Gettu Tokono, and her open disagreement. No, sorry, I think she disagreed in camera when she was asked to testify before the Article 146 committee, and then the subsequent reportage of this thing. So people believe that if that is the case, then you have no bearing to represent or sit in this particular committee. And there's also, I've heard funny reasons. I've heard people saying that, oh, she has been made a queen mother in her hometown, and that is going to take much of the toll. Yeah. I think because she didn't specifically state the reason why, it has opened up a lot of speculation around that issue. But one thing has to be clear, that we are in a democratic era, and there has been a clear demonstration of the respect for democratic principles and individual rights and liberties under this government, and people have the right to freely associate and to freely self-determine where they want to live their life. So one thing that is very clear in all the resignation is that those people did it at their own will, and there hasn't been any pressure from governments or government quarters whatsoever, and I wish all of them well moving forward.
Would it be far-fetched or inconceivable, or you think that would be illogical for anybody to surmise or to even think that the reason why Justice Tokono, the reason why Sophia Akuffo resigned was because she was unhappy, or she had a disquiet or her misgivings about how the processes that led to the removal of Justice Tokono. So as a matter of principle, she decided that, look, I don't want to belong here, because as we played the tape we played earlier, she gave us the reasons why she thought that something was fundamentally wrong with the process or the procedure. Do you think it will be far-fetched? It will be wrong, or it would be a beggar's belief for anybody to think that way?
I think a lot of people who know her,
especially when you look at the timing, it both happened in September.
A lot of people who know her know that she's a very principled person. And she has defied all odds, including even petitioning. What's the name? How do you call it?
Picketing.
Against his own political party.
Also
he has supported in the DDP case. We saw her come up strongly, speak for the underprivileged. And so she has been a very principled woman, if you know her. And I believe that if she believes, and she has openly, she hasn't hidden the fact that she wasn't happy with the processes that led to the removal of the former Chief Justice as a person. And she has stated it openly in interviews.
Yes.
So I believe that if she is a very principled person that we know her for,
in fact, when the Daily Guide reported that she had recused herself, was it recused or she was against it? You know, there was this report that Sophia Akuffo was against it. I've forgotten exactly what the story was, whether she had recused herself, i.e. she wasn't part.
Whichever way it is,
whichever
she didn't support.
Yes, she didn't support it. You know, as we speak, we still haven't heard her speak to that matter. Whether indeed, as was reported, whether indeed what the publication said was actually true. She still hasn't spoken on it.
So what I believe is that as an individual with principles, I believe that if she is not in support of a process or any thing that contradicts her personal principles, she may resign. But the fact is that she has left all of us in a dilemma because she didn't state it clearly in the resignation letter, as Bosman Asare did. So we've had commentaries and interviews outside of what is stated in the resignation letter, maybe accusing the processes of not being fair or saying things that were contrary to the decision that has been taken. So I believe it will have done Ghanaians a lot of help if she had clearly stated the reason why she, but it is also at her discretion not to do that. But that also opens up the Pandora box for a lot of speculations. And I believe that most of the commentaries that she has given or interviews that she has run has been very tangential to the main resignation letter. And the engagement of the Council of State after her resignation letter was submitted, just to find out the reason why she's resigning, didn't yield much results. So I believe that it is now to herself and God why she has resigned. But until that is clearly stated, there will still be a lot of commentary and politicization around this issue. But one thing that is certain is the fact that government has no hand in this. Government hasn't pushed anybody, and I believe she did it at her own will, based on her own principles. And I think whichever way it is, the President of the Republic has now accepted the resignation. And I believe processes will start to place her in the Council of State.
Well, so somebody just sent a message. In fact, she abstained, just so we are to be more clear or to be more specific. So she abstained. Now, the other issue is this, that Sufai Kufu was the, you can call it a lone voice in that room, 31 of them. And because of her disagreements that she had, based on which she abstained from the vote, that led to Tokonu's removal as Chief Justice. Now, and her subsequent public interactions on this matter, you saw that media engagement at the IEA forum. Do you think that her public disagreement with the processes should have morally stopped her from becoming a member of the Council of State, or would constitute a moral justification for her to say that, look, because I am not in favor of this, I am resigning? And then number two, if she did, not if, but she resigned last year, September.
Yeah.
Why do you think that the government has kept this matter from us all the way? I mean, it's almost a year. That's about 10 months or so. Why is the government in communication machinery, why have they deemed it necessary now to come out and state it? In fact, just a day after the newspapers reported it, why have they kept it, from all of us till now? Why?
So on the first issue, I think democracy is about disagreement, and in a very healthy manner.
Yeah.
It's competitive. We competitively disagree to be able to make decisions, to be able to move this country forward. So out of the 31 Council of State members, if she was the only one in certain, there have been other issues that she has agreed with the other 30 members, right? Yeah. And there may be issues that she may disagree. And I believe there may be issues that other members will also disagree.
True.
So I think that is the beauty of democracy. And I don't think disagreement based on principle or based on the facts of the matter is something that will prompt somebody to resign. So I suspect that the decision to disagree in itself, based on principle and facts in itself, doesn't amount to resigning.
Okay.
So I believe there may be another reason why she still don't want us to know. But on the second bit of the delay response, my understanding is that when the resignation letter was tendered in September 2025, the Council of State actually prevailed on the president to delay acceptance so that they will engage her and find out the reasons why and see whether it is something that they can resolve so that she will still remain part of it. And I believe that effort has dragged for, or whatever number of months that they have engaged.
That's a tad long.
So I believe this came into the public domain because they had not given the president the go-ahead that maybe our effort is not yielding the kind of results we had intended. So I think you can now go ahead to accept. So I believe it was when the president accepted it that it now became news and then it is out there. So at that particular point in time, if the news had broken, then it would have been, and later on, the Council of State members were able to convince her, maybe to rescind that decision. Then it would have been a kind of double reportage. I believe that may be the reason why there was a delay in communicating whatever was going on, up to the point that the Council of Elders team now believed that this is what we wanted, or this engagement, I think, can no longer continue because of this and this. So we now beg the president and give him the go-ahead to accept. So it was when the president has accepted, based on the advice of the Council of Elders member who were engaging, I believe that's not the reason why it is.
So Prof, as a mere mortal, because I don't work at the Council of State, I don't work at the Presidency, I'm only a Ghanaian and a journalist. We're here interrogating the issues. If it's had to take close to about 10 months for us to get to the bottom of this matter, what I can guess is there's been a back and forth. Because this exercise of wanting to find out, why do you want to go? What's the issue? Can we help you? It's not something that should take 24 hours. But it's taking us 10 months for us to find out. Does that suggest that there are issues?
Yeah, I suspect so. She will not resign if there are no issues.
Yes.
There are issues, or there may be issues.
I mean, I'm saying graver issues than we actually think.
Maybe something that she believes even the public don't have to know.
Right.
Maybe for now. Maybe in later years, she may make it known if there are actual issues. But it could also sincerely be that there are no issues. She just resigned on a matter of principle.
10 months.
And we are now finding issues.
10 months.
So I believe, I'm not sure, but my colleague here is a very good expert in conflict resolution and mediation.
Yes,
it does.
That's true. Yes.
Sometimes it takes time.
Yes.
It takes time.
We've decided you're also a lecturer in conflict. So as a lecturer in conflict, he also understands the area very well.
So it takes time.
Yeah.
So I believe maybe in very sensitive cases like this. So I think as long as the back behind the scenes channel was exhausted, and the final believe that no, maybe we can't keep dragging this issue, or maybe it is not appropriate to let the president know what is going on. I think it was based on this that the president now took the firm decision to accept.
Well, it's possible that she said, give me time to think about it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's had to take us 10 months. Mike, you don't care. What do you think? What's been going through your mind?
I mean, I like the way that we've been able to dissect this here, and now let's dissect it there.
Okay.
To look at the other side. He has spoken on some of the matters which were speculative, and because we don't have the reason. And also, if you look at Mr. Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, he's also mentioned perhaps. But before we go on to Madam Sophia Ekufu, I'll just have a quick bite at the resignation and the retirement of the EC deputy commissioners. It's in line with their work. The retirement of Mr. Samuel Tete was due, and he's retired, graciously, and everything has gone well. And I think we wish him the best of luck. Then we have Mr. Bosman Asare, who has decided voluntarily to retire to go into academia. I think that if he had wanted to avoid the threats that were coming to him from NDC, which I would say empty threats, no basis, no grounding, he stood and was ready to deal with whatever charges. But then the Council of State, the Chief Justice, and all the various parties who were involved looked at the case and saw that it was frivolous. No prima facie case to answer, and so it was thrown out. After his dignity was restored, he then voluntarily decided that he was going to resign. And for that to kudos, and we wish him the best of luck as he goes to join or replace my brother here, who may have come into the deeper political waters from the lighter academic sphere. Now, Sophia Ekufu, I just want to give a certain background to the lady so that we know who we are talking about. Then later we see what are we talking about. I mean, this is a woman of great honor, a lovely woman who has achieved a lot, and she is an exemplary woman of Ghana. We want such women of valor, women to be our mothers, our forebears, people who set examples for us to follow. A woman who went to Wesley Girls School, went to Legon University, our own beloved university here, and then after that to Harvard University, achieved so many things. And in fact, contrary to what some people would try to label her as, she's a woman of mixed achievements in that she was appointed to the Supreme Court by Rawlings, President Rawlings, and then that was all the way in 1995. And then she went through the system and was later made Chief Justice by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And I want to make this clear that she is not related to Nana Akufo-Addo. The name Ekufu is one of the most widespread names in the whole Akuapem region. I'm sure every 7th or 10th person is Ekufu. So please, we should not have that thing. There's Ekufu, there's Addo. Nana Akufo-Addo's own happens to be the surname combined, Ekufu na Addo. And what we call a double-barreled surname. So otherwise, he'll be related to every Addo in that place. People like Gloria Kufu and all the rest are not related to him. They may bear the same surname and may have some connection by way which in Ghana all of us do have some sort of connection whatsoever, but they are not close or family related members. So Gloria Kufu is a woman of her own right. And by virtue of her long serving and the way that she's worked in areas like the Commonwealth, in various roles, whether it came to arbitration and so on and so forth, after being appointed from 1995, Georgina Wood was leaving. So once the Chief Justice Georgina Wood was leaving, she was looked at as one of the best alternatives to be Chief Justice. And I think even because of her age, she wasn't there for long.
Yeah.
But very qualified woman, very respected woman, and she was appointed to the bench as the Chief Justice under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So that background needs to be made clear. Now, this is a woman of principle. As Chief Justice, I don't think we ever had one controversial matter. I don't think the MPP attacked her, the NDC attacked her. She did her work right in the middle and everything went well. Eventually she left. And we remember her as somebody who picketed against the very same president who appointed her. So she does things as a matter of principle. She went picketing for the DDEP matter. And in her opinion, it should have been handled differently. Of course, subsequently, we have seen ministers of this current government who have actually said that the DDEP, even though unfortunate, was most necessary at the time. Because sometimes you need to cut off a finger to save the whole limb, as we know in surgery. Even sometimes with things like diabetes, you may have to chop off a leg to save the rest of the human anatomy. Yeah. So this was an unfortunate situation, but as somebody would describe it, a necessary evil, even though it shouldn't have happened. But under the circumstances, and after the corona, and after the various challenges, this was something that was proposed and came ahead. But she was entitled, as a matter of principle, which is the main point, that she disagreed, and she didn't just disagree in her bedroom, she went publicly picketing. So, by extension, this woman was now a former Chief Justice, and a new Council of State was being arranged. We all know, if you look at Article 89 of the Constitution, the composure of the Council of State members. One, a former Chief Justice.
You mean the composition?
Yes, the composure of it. The composition of it, yes.
Composition
How
of
to
it,
compose it. So you need the Chief Justice. You need to be able to compose it with former IGP. You need to be able to add a current President of the National House of Chiefs. And therefore, I disagree that if she's a Queen Mother, she can't be there. If the current National President of the House of Chiefs can be a member, he's a chief. So any Queen Mother or chief can qualify to still be there.
No,
so we can put...
but that's a slot for him.
No, good. But I'm saying that being a chief doesn't stop him from being a Council of State member.
No,
so he's able to perform both functions. So a Queen Mother too can perform both. So being made a Queen Mother, if that is the case. I was just dealing with that aspect. Just, we are trying to understand the thing in depth. So
maybe the issue about the speculation that perhaps she wants to not just take up her new role as the Queen Mother of somewhere.
If she has made a Queen Mother,
that's what I'm saying. That's a speculation. Perhaps the argument has to do with what she wants to focus on rather than the legality.
No, and I'm trying to say that you don't need to focus on Queen Mother to resign from Council of State. Because even the composition of the Council of State itself has the President of the National House of Chiefs as a member.
No, I get it.
It's a qualified member to be a chief and a senior chief for that matter.
I get it.
Who may have even more duties and responsibilities and a bigger jurisdiction or kingdom than a Queen Mother of sorts.
Right.
So that is what I'm
that is the qualification criteria for the chief.
Okay.
Right? But in her case, she's coming in on the back of a former Chief Justice. So she may decide as an individual that if I want to do well in my new role as a chief, if that is actually
that is the case. Yes.
So it could be a personal decision that I want to focus more on this than that.
Yes.
Even though
once again, I rebut that. Because you see, you come in there in your role as a former Chief Justice to lend certain advice in that regard, not as a chief.
Right.
So you can still perform your functions as a Queen Mother and be on the Council of State. It doesn't stop it at all.
It's a fair point.
Yeah. Right. Then she made her picketing. Everybody was hailing her, especially the NDC. They were very excited. My brother is smiling. They were very excited that she's a woman of principle. At that time, nobody mentioned that she's Nana Akufo-Addo's cousin or anything rumored or false. You understand? We sit in this town.
It was mentioned, but the context.
No. I'm saying that at that time, the NDC found her a woman of principle.
Yes.
And not a relation of Nana Akufo-Addo.
No, it was mentioned, but in a different context.
Oh, no. It wasn't. No, I'm saying that.
Just 1 second. 1 second. Remember that at the time, the conversation in some quarters, especially with the listen to the likes of Martin Kpebu and some NDC communicators were saying that even Nana Akufo-Addo's relative is protesting against him. That's the context. So not as in.
For me, I heard more of the Nana Akufo-Addo's appointee, former Chief Justice,
that's another angle.
Exactly. They didn't remember.
So there was a mention, but not what you're saying.
Yes, and of course, that I've told you that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But the context in which they referred to her was that as a former Chief Justice of the current president, she's against it by principle. They were very excited. Then comes an event that will also answer some of the reasons for the delay. We need a former Chief Justice. Who were the former Chief Justices available? Former Chief Justices available were Eni Yeboah and Sophia Akuffo.
Yes.
They didn't want Eni Yeboah.
Oh, but there's also Georgina Wood.
No, and Georgina Wood, yes. So we'll come to that even. Because now after that there's two. And Georgina Wood. Thank you for adding that. So they were very comfortable with the picketing Chief Justice, who in their opinion is a woman of principle. Why are you smiling? Let's talk about it. They like the picketing. So the picketing Chief Justice, they forget that she will come and picket on Tokonu. They forgot. So in her principled stance of picketing, they chose her to the Council of State. Amen. Good job. So she is then, remember, her criteria is still a woman of principle, a woman of this, a woman of that, a woman of that. Then when she became a member of the Council of State, one of the things which were an eyesore to her, and to many Ghanaians till today, the framed up removal of Justice Tokonu. In fact, she went to the extent of giving evidence in the case, and not just her, Eni Yeboah as well, also a former Chief Justice, and said those kind of expenses that they are trying to pin on the woman as something which is corrupt, she took some. Eni Yeboah took some. And even went to make references to Georgina Wood and others who were not there. It's something normal. You can't frame it to be something against her. And that this is virtually a witch hunt and is wrong. Now she's picketing from the Council of State. All of a sudden, she's not principled. She's not somebody who speaks truth. She's not somebody who's looking at the thing that, despite the fact that she has been appointed by President Mahama, she's saying that what is happening under the President Mahama regime is wrong. Yet, appointed by Akufo-Addo, I know you're in a hurry to come in Moro, but you listen for a minute, it will help you. It was something that was being done under Nana Akufo-Addo, who appointed her. And she went against the tide. In the same era, President John Mahama appointed her as the Chief Justice, And she was also going against what was happening and saying that as for this, I have to swim against the tide. And she gave her reasons, even which were exemplary, by using herself, the same principled picketing judge. All of a sudden, as they say in P, in Kofutikwapai, people are rolling on the ground, complaining, why is she like this, why is she like that, and so on and so forth. It became an issue. But moving forward, she went ahead, stated her case, and after that, the Tokonu matter was decided in September 2025. Now we are told 10 months later, and you rightly said, it is the media who released this information first, before the government scrambling behind the scenes came to also say, yes, it's true, this was 10 months ago, but we're trying to talk to her to change her mind and see if there could be some kind of negotiation. Again, you rightly said, within the spirit of conflict, does it take 10 months to change somebody's mind when they want to resign? 10 months. Boss Malasare has just resigned and says he will leave on 31st July. It is out. As was rightly said by the comms head, that yes, the information came out, so they've also come to tell us, and that wait, it's just 31st July. Right. The woman resigned with immediate effect. Immediate. And yet it took us 10 months. My issue, and that's why I was referring to two, that's why I forgot about Madam Georgina Wood. Are they in a quagmire? Is the delay because now the government is left with Eni Yeboah and Georgina Wood to appoint, and so they are dragging their feet. They don't have any of them who has a reference of picketing. So they are not too comfortable with who they should choose. Why are we always looking in the lenses of politics? Look, I am telling you, a judge may be appointed by Rawlings or may be appointed by a Kufuor, but that judge is not going to speak for that party. We should remove it. Look, the current Justice Bafo Boni, who they have appointed, who appointed him? Was it not President Kufuor? And today you find him fit to be Chief Justice. So they should not fear. They should go for men of principle, no matter who appointed them into the Chief Justice role or even as justices. Because I don't think Georgina Wood was appointed by Kufuor. She was appointed only as CJ, but was appointed as judge by Rawlings. So, President Mahama, be bold. Don't waste 10 months leaving gaps and vacuums, because the Council of State is not so properly constituted as per Article 89 at present. With the absence of such a woman, all the times you'll be sitting between now and then for the 10 months, in fact, it should be struck off. Yes, because all these 10 months, they've not followed the Constitution. They've met and sat and decided in the absence of Article 89 2B. If you look at Article 29 2B, talks about the National House of Chiefs, and the Article 29 2A. We are looking at all the various offices here. 1, it says a person who has previously held the office of Chief Justice. So once you don't have that there, A, B, and it's talked about, your meetings are all void ab initio. So, President Mahama, please take this thing serious. Now you have been exposed by the Fourth Republic, and we thank you, the media, for doing that, because otherwise, as for NDC, we have a government where a Minister of Defense has died, most unfortunately. I mean, as for me, everybody knows my relationship with Omani Boama. It's personal. Personal friendship and personal relationship. And so is Mutala. Mutala is the kind of person who can call me in office. Moro, you know, me and you and Mutala are very close.
Yeah.
And I can do things for Mutala, personal level. It's not about politics. They passed. Up to now, President Mahama, you can't put in a Minister of Defense. You can't put in a Minister of Defense. And we are claiming that this place is being looked after under caretaker Atufosin. And Buddha JMP is sitting there virtually not doing much. That's me twiddling his thumbs and waiting. Please, let us be up and doing. When we have a vacuum in the government, for example, if we have a vacuum in presidency or vice presidency, we expect it to be filled with alacrity so that we know that the government is working. So this 10 months that the woman has been out of office, it really makes the place empty. And there's no space that shouldn't be filled under the Council of State to make sure that it is a constitutionally viable position. Then we know that when they meet, they have met according to the Constitution, not according to the NDC delays, not according to the president's whims and caprices. When he likes, he will appoint somebody. No. As for that one, it is a constitutional requirement, and he must quickly fill it to make this thing happen. So for me, I think that she's within her rights to resign. As my brother said, yes, she's within her rights to resign if she doesn't agree with the principle. I think in Ghana, unlike most countries abroad, we don't have people resigning on principle. You can also protest on principle, depending on how you want to look at it. All I would want to say is that she has shown us that she's a woman of dignity, but I want the government to look at it, as they've given her perhaps on one side, that one of the reasons why a very prominent Ghanaian has defended and resigned on that matter is the removal, the most unfair removal of the Chief Justice, Gertrude Torkornoo. And this matter has now come to light that she resigned in the same month. Now, I remember you asking that question. Is it a coincidence? I say no. I think it follows, because her actions, this is a woman of action, her actions prior and her actions subsequently have shown that she's not a noisemaker, but she's a woman of action and somebody who believed that most unfortunately she didn't agree with what had happened. And many Ghanaians disagree with this. And these are matters that, by the grace of God, will be tackled in future, and we need to tighten certain aspects to prevent it from ever happening again.
All right.
Can I
yes, please come, Prof.
So, I think my brother has made a very good submission, except that he started very well, except that at the last minute he did a very good politics. I think the former Chief Justice hasn't stated in a letter the reason why she has resigned. And that opens up the door for a lot of speculations. And the speculations definitely is going to be influenced largely by the interests of the one speaking. So I think we are all making conjectures based on maybe what we believe in and what we think could have been the reason why. On the issue of the delayed response, I don't think it was because maybe the government is not pleased with the existing former chief justices in the country. And I don't think that statute has changed. It's still the same people, right? And why is it that the president has now made it known that the former chief justice has resigned from the Council of State? So I don't think it's because of that particular reason. I largely believe that it was because of behind-the-scenes negotiations as requested by the Council of State to see why she resigned and what can be done about it. On the issue of the quorum, my brother mentioned that all the decisions that have been taken should be quashed. But I think he's a lawyer and he understands that the Council of State has a quorum for taking decisions and the quorum for sitting. And the fact that one person just resigned does not mean that the Council of State cannot function. I'm not sure, but you can check maybe Article 92 of the Constitution and perhaps the Council of State at 2020. I'm not sure about that, but it says that the quorum threshold for determining a case is more than half of all total members present. So if you check, it says that a matter cannot be proposed for a vote or determined unless more than half of all total members are present. And the majority will say that except where otherwise specified by the Constitution, the majority vote of the members present and voting carries the decision. So I believe that, so assuming maybe she had passed and we still haven't been able to replace her, so it means the Council of State will not function up to the time that so I believe the Constitution makes flexibility for cases like that. That's why there's, for example, even in Parliament, we have a quorum for sitting, quorum for taking decisions and all those. It doesn't mean that all the MPs have to be present. So I believe that the fact that she had resigned
But I guess the argument was making is not about the numbers that the Council of State would need to first of all sit and subsequently take decisions where they have to. I think the matter he was, and as if I understood what he was saying, and then which
the
is
importance of her position.
No, not even the importance of the position. He says the Council of State, per his reading of the Constitution and his appreciation of the Constitution, has not been properly constituted, has not been properly composed, right? So once it has not been properly composed ab initio, then you can't even proceed to function as a Council of State. I think that's where it's coming from. You are coming more from the numbers really doesn't matter for as long as you have the right quorum to start work, to sit and to take decisions. But that is after the fact. But he's saying that once it's not been composed properly, there's one more seat which is left to be filled. Then it means you can't even sit at all. You can't even
just to
function.
extend
But
that.
I get where you're also coming from. That would also be a bit absurd.
Look, we don't want to make this too much of a back and forth. The basic line is, I'm just saying that it shall consist of the following. And then it's been listed under Article 89.
Once one is not there.
So if somebody doesn't attend, it's different from it not consisting of. That's all I'm saying. And we should take it serious. I'm not necessarily saying something which is against the Constitution. I'm just saying that we should learn from this and take it also to the future.
Yes. But it is the point you raise, because it's a very serious issue. And perhaps legal luminaries and legal experts may have to look at this again, whether the absence of one person from the Council of State.
And not just the absence. You see, look, the reason why the Chief Justice must be there is for a particular function. There are a lot of legal and state implications in that regard. So the presence of such a person is very important. Why is it that they're asking for the IGP?
Security.
Why are they asking for the presence of the National House of Chief President?
Wisdom.
You understand? So, and also consultations from the grounds and from the people. So I just think that, look, the Constitution had a reason for saying all of this. So all I am doing is I'm trying to remind the NDC that they should do it quickly. Because 10 months is a long time. That's all we are saying. But quickly on the matter of...
he's not done. Sorry. He's not done.
Okay.
You only allowed him to come.
You can continue.
You are brothers. So.
Fine.
No, you can continue.
I just want to quickly...
No, let him continue.
Oh, you should. No.
Okay, can come back.
Because he actually...
Okay, no, let him continue.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Mike.
Thanks for giving me the platform. Maybe tomorrow doesn't want to give me the platform, but it's okay.
I appreciate his magnanimity.
No, I'm just saying the issue of the matters concerning the speculation and all of that. As I said, even Mr. Ofosu-Kwakye went and gave us and gave some reasons. And I'm also giving perhaps on the other side. That's why I said here or there. And we must allow this because the speculation exists. The things that I mentioned, they exist in the mills in Ghana at the moment. So if these things exist, that people are wondering that, hey, why did this woman resign? The very principled woman. And then, as you rightly put forward, it coincides in the same September 2025 with the decision of Tokoni. Should we not raise it? So yes, he's also entitled to say that it's not specified or mentioned.
As Felix
but yes, but as I said, with the there, in terms of the realm of speculation or conjecture or whichever way you look at it, we should also be able to analyze the other side of the matter so that we can do a right juxtaposition. Otherwise, we have not analyzed the matter properly.
And again, and it's important that we state this because we're all swimming in the realm of conjecture. It's extremely important.
Yes, because the reason is not there.
As explaining why we think she left is actually a matter of fact. It's not an opinion, and we think. But if you have, and again, if we have to stay with this theory of she left because of Tokonu, do you find anything wrong as a political scientist, Prof, where you have a Council of State member who actually has a voting right within the Council of State architecture or the Council of State setup to espouse or to express her opinion on an issue, but then decides to publicly, this is a concern she could have stated within, and to say, I agree or I disagree, which is what within her right. But do you find something wrong, something untoward with a Council of State member coming out publicly to state her position on a matter which has been discussed at the Council of State level? When you remember, the Council is actually the topmost advisory a body for the presidency and for the president. Do you find something a little off, or something untidy, about, and here we're talking a former Chief Justice to say that this is wrong, and so then it then confirms, albeit anecdotally, that what the Daily Guide reported, which was that she had actually abstained when it was time for a decision to be made, a vote for some votes to be cast. She decided that, look, I don't want to be part of this. It confirmed it, that, oh, okay, it makes sense, because once she had abstained, then we now understand why she's publicly stating her reservations about how Tokonu was removed. I'm saying that, do you find something morally unacceptable about it, or you think that, look, everybody is free to speak, it doesn't matter whether you're a member of states member, it is guaranteed, chapter 12 of the 1992 Constitution. Is that what it is? Is that as simple as that?
I don't think it is a bad decision to disagree.
Publicly?
No, not publicly. To disagree as a member of the Council of State.
Yes.
Issues that are brought for discussion. And I don't think it's also a bad decision to recuse yourself from a decision that's been taken within the Council of State. Okay. I think every individual has a right to do that. But I also believe that before you are sworn in as a member of the Council of State, you don't only swear the oath of the office, but I think you also swear the oath of secrecy. That most of the issues that will be discussed, that borders on national security and very sensitive political decisions, maybe should not be brought to the public light. And that is very instrumental and very critical to the role and functions that they play. So, and I also believe that given the background that she's coming from, I think she understands the morality and sensitivity of those issues, especially the fact that it was a very heated political issue at that particular point in time. So I believe that she's free to accuse or disagree within the processes of the work of the Council of State. But I don't think it is right or appropriate to openly come out and state what you have done and kind of undermine the process or projecting yourself as maybe the shoe or whatever it is. I believe in terms of sensitivity to privacy of decision-making processes, that wouldn't be good. So, but people now begin to link her decision to resign, even though it's not clearly stated, to this particular issue because of maybe those pronouncements that has happened. So, left to me, the sensitivity of the issue and the discussion at that particular point in time, and given her moral stature and experience as a former Chief Justice, I believe it would have been more appropriate to just keep quiet. The way she had been very silent in her resignation letter, and the reason why she has resigned, I think it would have been appropriate to be very quiet on the same issue. Sorry, on her, whether it's recusal or dissenting in the decision-making processes that has happened. If we're all going to have people come out and say what happens at cabinet meetings, what happens at, we'll put our national security into greater danger.
So then, flowing from this brilliant explanation you've just given, then it also stands to.
Wait, I want to understand. Explanation is brilliant.
Oh, I think so.
University, you're not a university lecturer, but anyway, please, when you ask some of the questions, move it to me also, so I can also answer some. So it doesn't become a... No, me, when I spoke, you didn't ask me any follow-up question.
No, it's follow-up.
I'm just saying. No, because when you have asked him a follow-up question, throw it to me also. When I also give my perspective, then you go to the next one.
Yes, please.
So if I may be allowed to give a quick perspective on this matter before you do your follow-up question. Look, my brother.
Okay.
We are talking about the realm of talking publicly about a matter.
Okay.
Most unfair. If the woman had come up, as he rightly said, to talk about the dealings in cabinet and the dealings there as per what was agreed, what was disagreed, that's different. She was a witness in the case. The only thing she spoke about publicly is the fact that as a former judge and Chief Justice for that matter, the things that she's been accused of, which were in court, not at the Council of State, she has done the same. And it is allowed. And so she should not be victimized because of that. I don't see anything wrong with that. It doesn't apply to the oath of secrecy. No. Because she's talking about a different issue, a different aspect within a different arena.
But Mike, Mike.
Yes.
At the time she was...
My answer is not brilliant, and what is the adjectives you use?
I'll give an adjective soon.
Okay, I'm waiting for my adjectives.
I'll do that.
Yes.
But at the time she was commenting on the matter.
Yes.
Was she commenting on the matter, or has she ceased to be a member of the Council of State?
No.
When she was speaking at that
No, and that's why she never spoke about any proceedings there. And any decisions being held in cabinet.
Fact, that's true.
But she was an active witness in the case.
That is true.
Good. So she can state.
So there is Sophia Kufu as a witness who was being asked questions based on the Tokonu matter. That's one.
Yes.
Then there's Sophia Kufu as a Council of State member whose decisions or whose opinion or views will be sought when council sits to look at the prima facie matter.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying? That's Sophia Kufu.
Yes.
Then there's a Sophia Kufu who's also a fellow of the IEA. So when she was commenting on the matter, she was commenting on the matter at the time as a fellow of the IEA. So what it means is that she had removed her Council of State apparel, put it somewhere, and then I'm speaking figurative. She had also removed her witness apparel, put it somewhere.
No, that apparel was still on.
That apparel was so the point I'm trying to make is that
you are making a point.
You know, the point I'm trying to make is that could she have said, because I am involved in one form or the other, both as a council of state and somebody who also spoken to the matter because I had been engaged and so on. So I reserve my comment on this matter to a later date.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
That is where I agree with you, but I disagree with you to the total detail.
Okay.
I reserve my comment on the matter in terms of dealings at the Council of State, but I'm talking about it as an academic fellow.
Do you know why you cannot decouple the two?
No. Let me make my point. Let me land. You have your opinion.
Okay.
Let me also state mine.
All right.
Yes. I am saying that what she's talking about, she's not talking about proceedings. And in any case, you know that whatever happened in the hearings, every day was reported. Are you aware?
Yes.
So every day it has already been reported. What she said, what Aikwe Otu said, what Chachichi Kata said, all has come out. And in the context of the IE, she's also expressing an opinion that in that aspect, because remember that the decision that is going to be made there by the people who have been nominated, if you look at the constitutional pairing, the decision is not going to be taken by the Council of State.
No.
Yes, the Council of State has already absolved themselves from that aspect of the process, and they are not a judicial making body.
But the president asked on the advice of the Council.
No, you are not getting me. Advice of the Council of State based on a vote. So at that point, she can also abstain, which she did when it came to that aspect. But basically, the comments that she made, I don't see there's anything untoward. And I'm surprised that they are surprised she commented. No, I have to make this point. Let me make the point. My point is simple. Are they surprised that she made her point in that manner? This is a woman who has a history of picketing. And as for her, when she has her opinion, she will state it, as long as it is not going against the oath of secrecy. Because she is also very mindful of that. But she's a very opinionated woman. And that is one of the things that they found very attractive. Now the same woman is picketing your decision and the way you are trying to harangue the lady, and then now you don't understand.
You see?
No. You cannot take the man as it is and changing the person. No. I'm saying, look, within her rights and within her personality, her persona, she's entitled to give her opinion as long as it is not to influence the Council of State decision and against their procedures. So which part of it has she flaunted?
You don't think that as a member of the Council of State?
I don't think it's enough that she's a member of the Council of State so she can't talk. No. She gave
the matter came before you.
Prior. No. So are you saying that as a member of the Council of State she can't give evidence?
It was after the decision.
But the woman has given public evidence on the matter. Moral.
Public evidence.
So even if you don't find my submission brilliant, I just want you to know. I'm just saying.
It's always been brilliant.
No, this is not a matter. Wait, no, hold on. Your opinions are your opinions. You brought us here to give you our opinions also.
Yes.
And I am telling you that my opinion is that she did not flout the oath of secrecy. What's the problem?
No.
And I'm giving you the reasons.
Your opinion is bad.
No, but you have not said it's brilliant.
In fact, it's a brilliant opinion.
Oh, really?
It's a fantastic
opinion. No, but you didn't say it in the same tone.
It's wonderful.
You have to say it.
No, this is top-notch opinion.
No, top-notch. Really, yes.
But I mean,
listen.
This is an extraordinarily brilliant opinion.
What I'm
saying, I'm just asking
give
a
us
question.
also time to answer.
Okay.
And don't always be interjected.
Okay.
Because that's not what you do to my brother. Let me also state mine. Yes, we have to. People are watching. They can see. Me, you can't be haranguing me like that. I'm telling you that that's how I also see it. I shouldn't see it from one perspective.
No, I don't see it.
So let me make my point. Okay. Again, you're interjecting.
Okay.
As soon as I'm about to land, then you come and interject. We don't need all your questions. When you ask me a question, let me also answer. My answer that I'm giving you, Moro, is this. We should have perspectives on every issue. My perspective is that the oath of secrecy was not broken because of the way that she, as a person or as a personality, one, she's involved in the case itself. And she has gone to give evidence. Moro, evidence at the hearing. And so if she expounds on her evidence in public, only relating to the matters of the case, because remember, the Council of State, they are not looking at it in terms of anything else. Prima facie, they've already taken that decision. The voting has just been brought to them for them to pass it forward, that this is what happened. And you know the constitutional composition of how this is done. One person from the judiciary, so and so and so and so. The president nominates a certain amount of people and so on. Once those people make the decision, it is just a matter of procedure. That just goes through. So I'm saying that she's allowed to comment. And in any case, she has a history of being someone who's very opinionated.
Right.
So let us leave it as it is.
Okay.
But most importantly, she said that she has resigned. She didn't give us any reason.
Right.
So rightly, as my brother said, to be honest, we don't know whether it's here nor is there. Yeah. But one person is allowed to state it here, and another person is allowed to state it there. And now I'm stating that it is there.
All right. So Kwame Sarkwan, who is a fellow of the CDD, he's waded into this matter, and he gives a very interesting perspective. He shares a very interesting perspective on the issue. He says, "Good morning, Moro. I hope you're well. Gabo raises a relevant issue that cuts both ways. Was the Council of State constituted appropriately from the start, i.e. before Madam Ekufu's resignation? If it was, does her resignation nullify the initial legal constitution as per the relevant constitutional articles? I think the constitution is silent on that, and it's also silent on the time lag from resignation to replacement. Maybe, just maybe, this needs further scrutiny." And I totally agree with Kwame Sarkwan on this matter.
And I just want to add to what he said. Look, my brother,
you have really provoked a very important question. Yes,
because that's what in law most of it is.
Reasonable time.
Yes,
but what you see, but then the question that arises is what constitutes reasonable time?
No, but that is why you even asked the question. You yourself, you asked that 10 months, isn't it too much? Is this not something where consultations could be done even within 24 to 48 hours?
Right.
So we all have a fair mind of reasonable time, and 10 months is too much. I mean, I didn't want to go on to an attack. I put it in as an advice to the president. That, Mr. President, be mindful of the fact that if this woman has gone, we should replace her quickly. Why the delay? Because if it is not, and in my opinion, just to land on this, in my opinion, honestly, and Moro, you yourself stated this. Sometimes you are not able to follow up with what you yourself state, then you don't give me the brilliant submission. The 10 months you yourself said, if it were not for the fourth estate to expose it, they wouldn't have talked about it. And how many months more? So please, we should take governance very, very serious, time-minded.
Okay.
And also, I want to ask my brother, Minister of Defense, when is he coming? Or she? When?
So I think the reason why maybe the Constitution may be silent on some of these issues could be circumstantial. You see, sometimes it could be an issue that may require 24 hours or a week or a day to take a decision. It could also be an issue that may take a very long period of time without even the outside of the control of decision makers to be able to arrive at a firm decision. So I think maybe if the Constitution, the founders and then the drafters of the Constitution were very cognizant of the fact that there may be an issue that may take maybe such a long period of time. That's why they didn't place maybe a time limit, maybe within 2 weeks or 4 weeks. So the definition of reasonability may differ based on the circumstances and then the context that you are looking at. But if that is the case, if you think that maybe it can also be abused in a way, then maybe we'll have to think of putting, and I think the Constitutional Review Committee is still working. We have to put maybe a reasonable cap to it. Then we'll be guided by it. But I think there was a last issue I wanted to. I think very soon the president will do something about it.
We'll be hearing very soon for almost a year.
It will
we need a substantive Minister of Defense because it's about time. Environment is also suffering.
Yes, it will be done shortly.
Are you one of those to be considered? Rather, put your heart in the ring. You know. You mean we're hearing all sorts of names being speculated, especially for the defense, but we are waiting to see.
Okay, all right. So gentlemen, I want us to read this. Let me just read this message, and then we'll move to our next topic. So, Samuel Brian Boabin says, Mo, Justice Dokodo was removed in September last year. Justice Sophia Akufu resigned shortly after Mahama removed the then Chief Justice. Her resignation was clearly linked to Tokono's dismissal. This is neither rocket science nor quantum physics. As the saying goes, one needs a long spoon when supping with the devil. Interesting times ahead. Samuel Brian Boabi from Awoshi sends that message. And then this one here from Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm. He says that, good morning, my brother. In my humble opinion, I don't think the resignation of Madam Sophia Akufu as a member of the Council of State should be a matter of discussion, because she did so without providing us with any explanation. Yeah. So let's take it to be so. She did so on principles, and we must respect her for that, and we wish her well. And according to the government spokesperson, they were still trying to engage her to see whether she has a case to be addressed, but she said none. Moro Michael made serious allegations against members of the NDC without providing any evidence to support his claim. According to him, empty threats were made on Mr. Bosman Asari by members of the NDC. He should be made to provide us with evidence. But
did I say that?
Mike never said that.
Oh,
Hamza, Mike never said
Hamza,
that.
you go to court.
He says, we can only
my brother Hamza.
We can only remember Mr. Bosman Asari for saying the NDC is dangerous to the democracy of this country.
He's the one making allegations.
And the NDC was not happy with that at all. In fact, I heard Asajin Ketia saying because of that, Bosman Asari, he does not deserve to be there because he sees one party as a danger to our democracy. Once you make that statement, you have no moral authority to continue to be there. But Zalidu said, I salute you this morning. Keep on with the good works. And then I'll end with Abdul Razak. Abdul Razak says that, Audu, don't allow Bobo to do blah, blah, blah. Sophia is a very arrogant person. She very much betrayed her colleagues at the Council of State. How could she come out the way she did after having been privileged as a member of the council who advised the president on the issue? And then Alhaji Harun, he says that, morning, my brother. Indeed, the resignation of the former Chief Justice should not surprise anybody for the following reasons. She had breached her oath of her oath of secrecy, confidentiality for making public pronouncement on matters of exclusive preserve of the Council of State. Just as a judge, lawyer cannot be publicly granting interviews on matters directly involving them in court. So a Council of State member cannot make same prejudice public comment. 2, similarly, her decision to willingly and voluntarily participate in the removal proceedings, especially in favoring the remove CJ, clearly put her in a conflict of interest, and this is enough grounds to have had the president remove her or as a citizen petition for her removal. 3, again, the resignation of the former Chief Justice does not render the council's composition unconstitutional, as been alluded by Council Quay Jr. In fact, it should be noted that the council was duly constituted and resignation only occurred in the life of a duly constituted council, and therefore constitutionally, when such vacancies occur, the Constitution anticipates replacement probably within a reasonable time, and not to halt or suspend sittings solely on the strength of resignation of a member. It must be noted that void or invalidity of meetings of Council of State can only arise under Article 92 of the Constitution when quorum is not met. Great, Alidu Seidu, Professor. Thanks, bro. Great, Michael Quay, too. Peter T from Shukra says, good morning, Moro. We have a long way to understand the methodology that associates itself with the resignation. One could decide to explore by making his or her reason of resignation public, or keep the reason by virtue of the power that he or she has. She has served the nation judiciously and also deserves recognition and commendation and must be treated as such. It's unfortunate for us to make MPP, for her to make MPP her backbone. Okay.
Wow, look.
I don't get it. McLean says that, so what exactly was President John Mohammed's NDC hiding that prevented them from publicly announcing the resignation of a Council of State member? A government that appears to approach every issue with a strong a PR shield, naturally raises suspicions when it chooses silence on matters of public interest. The failure to promptly communicate such an important development only fuels public skepticism and invites unnecessary speculations. Only time will tell. And then Carlos from Odududu, he says that I don't think this is the first time someone has resigned from a government appointment or position. Why has it suddenly become such a major issue? Personally, I don't believe this is something we should spend so much time deliberating on when there are far more important national issues that deserve attention. This government is currently working to fix the challenges and difficulties inherited after 8 years of MP administration. Yet some people expect all those problems to be solved within 17 months. That is simply unrealistic. As for the resignation, that is the individual's personal decision. Perhaps she never expected to be appointed by an NDC government and was surprised by the appointment. Whatever her reasons may be, she exercised her right to resign, and that should be respected. Why should we devote so much time to discussing one person's resignation? I don't think we should attach such significance to it. I can mention numerous individuals who resigned during the Akufo-Addo's administration. Did those resignations become major national discussions? Carlos, and I say, God bless you. And I'll end with this one. Prince Henry from Kofrida, he's aspiring to become the NDC's regional communications officer. He puts that all the time when he sends a message. It says, I respect Mrs. Sophia Kufu for her resignation. She has proven to be a highly principled person. I wish her the best. God bless our homeland, Ghana. So, gentlemen, I want us to move on and look at the road sector. The Fourth Estate came up with a publication, and the publication was dismissed or was denied by the roads minister. The government came in at some point during the government accountability series. And so what did the president do? The president certainly have heard you. Bring your report. I'll constitute a committee to look into the matter. The committee has come up with its findings. Yesterday, Felix, who is the Minister for Government Communication, also spokesperson for the President, has shed some light on what the highlights of what the report says. And today's Daily Graphic actually reports it. It says, no wrongdoing in big push contracts. President orders tougher single sourcing rules. Now, Kester Abram Kranche of the Daily Graphic says that a high-level presidential investigation into the award of contracts under the Big Push Infrastructure Initiative has found that the Ministry of Roads and Highways did not breach any procurement rules. The Daily Graphic can exclusively report. However, President John Dramani Mahama has accepted 4 sweeping reforms to strengthen Ghana's public procurement framework. The probe, ordered by the President in April by Senior Presidential Advisor Dr. Valerie Esther Sawyer, found that the ministry acted strictly within the Public Procurement Act and obtained all requisite approvals. It also revealed that single-source big push contracts represent barely 4.58% of all the road contracts awarded by the ministry. The report dated May 2022-2026 was triggered by media investigations by the Media Foundation for West Africa. You know they are the owners of the Fourth Estate. Now, the story continues on page 3. And it says that in the Fourth Estate, which had alleged abuse of single sourcing methods, the presidency said the president's swift intervention reflected his commitment to transparency, fiscal discipline, and institutional accountability. Now, out of the 1,441 contracts awarded by the ministry under the current administration, 1,301 of them, representing 90.28%, were procured through open and competitive tendering. Okay? Under the Big Push Initiative, 140 contracts were awarded in total. Out of these, 66 were single-sourced, 51 went through restricted tendering, 23 were legacy projects inherited from the previous administration. Now, the Media Foundation for West Africa, you want the paper? That's fine.
Daily Guide.
Daily Guide, sorry. I'll give you the Daily Guide. Now, the Media Foundation of West Africa has a response. Now, I'm going to quote what Suleiman Abrahama said in an interview with Accra-based City FM. I am challenging the Ministry of Roads to publish the full list of the 1,000 plus projects that they claim they have awarded, and let us see whether that would amount to anywhere close to the amount being discussed. He says, I have read it on other platforms, and I would want to believe that whatever was put out there is a true reflection of what the minister said. If Fourth Estate based their findings on official records relating to projects captured under the Big Push program, and he insisted that issues raised in the report deserved serious consideration. It's a 72-page report. Now, let me do this briefly. There are people who have made the show possible. Let me quickly acknowledge them, and then I can bring in my guest. We have just 15 minutes to deal with this matter. Discover MNC Group Global, your #1 partner in minerals and food commodity trading, real estate development, general logistics, procurement, management consultancy, investment advisory, import and export, with headquarters in East Legon. They also have head offices in Dubai, Hong Kong, and also Guangzhou in China, Johannesburg in South Africa. They're also in America, Virginia, Arezzo in Italy, and Hanover in Germany. So what they essentially do is that they connect markets that drive business growth with tailor-made solutions that will meet your needs. So trust us to maximize your value in every deal. Call them on 0302-998-246, 0302-998-246, and 0265-505-337. Now get in touch with them and thank me later. MNC Group, totally reliant. And also, let me remind you again, the Office of the Registrar of Companies has a very, very important information that it wants me to share with you, especially those of you who are running your own businesses. Now, the Office of the Registrar of Companies wishes to inform all companies, business owners, and the general public that the deadline for filing annual returns and renewing your business names has been extended from 30th April to 30th June 2026. So you have just some 14 days to do this. This extension will give business additional time to regularize your status and also avoid penalties. So failure to comply by the new deadline may attract sanctions, including additional fees and possible removal from the company's register. Now, if you want some more information, please call the number 0308249841. Remember that as many as 318 companies have been earmarked to be struck off the register, so hurry up. Maybe your company is one of them. ORC, a trusted partner for business. So, Gabo, maybe let me start with you for the first time. I always start with Prof.
I'm hearing. So maybe they should tell us their stance on the matter.
Everything is out. Everything is out now.
Yeah, I don't know what's out, so they should tell us.
I've read it. I've read
exactly. As for me, what I know is the Media Foundation for West Africa report.
Yes.
Yesterday they brought this out and they said they were going to give us further details.
The full report.
Yes. So honestly, government has to tell us their position for us to respond.
All right.
I'm sure he knows that that's how it works.
I honestly thought government has stated it.
Exactly.
There was almost a
they should tell the public so that the public hear.
No, they did. Yesterday there was a
but
press
we are here.
Okay. So he should repeat.
So if you are there, okay, then what Ofusu Kwacha said is enough. We can go to the next topic. No, me, I can't.
No, but I want your reaction to what Felix has said.
Yes. But that's why I'm saying that we are here. We want to hear the government's position.
But it will be repetitive. That's what I'm saying. Let me know what you think.
Well, but you said you should start, so let him start. Because I want to really understand what is their position on the matter. No, honestly, I don't want us to seem like we come on this program. No, Moro, it's very important.
Okay.
That we come to just oppose for opposing sake.
All right.
Okay. I can't state my position, which is not the government position.
Okay.
Yesterday, the government spoke on something.
Yes.
They should tell us. Okay. Then if I have certain disagreements, I can disagree. If I agree, then we just move on.
Okay.
So why does this always have to be something which is a banter?
Prof. Okay. Should we allow sleeping dogs to lie, or you still think that
maybe just I'll give a brief comment.
All right, that's fine.
On it. So you see,
but it's been revealing, 4%.
Yes,
I see.
Hey, Moro be that. Let him reveal his own 4%.
Accountability and transparency accountability and transparency are two of the most critical benchmarks for a good governance processes. You see, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's government have been very accountable to the people of Ghana. You see, accountability in governance terms can come in two forms: proactive and then reactive. Under the proactive instance, government takes its own initiative to explain government policy and government businesses to the people. And this government has done it very well through the accountability processes, which is being held at the Flagstaff House. And every issue that concerns government business and that affects the lives of the people have been explained by sector ministers to the people. But accountability can also be reactive, where government initiate a particular policy or decision in reaction to maybe an issue that has arises. And we know that the Fourth Estate is part of the Media Foundation for West Africa. And they did a study. And it's one of the most credible civil society organizations that hold government to account. they did their study and they came out with the fact that there was excessive sole sourcing projects as part of the big push projects under the government. The Ministry of Roads and Highways came out and responded adequately and in much detail. But that still didn't stop the president. So in other circumstances, the explanation that were provided by the minister and the minister should have been enough. But the president still believed that it is important for him to set up a committee to investigate this particular matter. And that was done, and the report was submitted to the president, about 72-page report. And then the findings are very clear. If you look at the current John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency's administration, there were 1,441 total projects that were awarded by the ministry. And out of this particular, I think 405 was done under the Ghana Highway Authority, 896 under the Department of Feeder Roads, 23 under legacy projects, and then the rest under the consolidated and big push projects. Out of these 1,441 contracts, 1,301 of them, representing 90.2%, were awarded through open competitive bidding. That is 90.28 were awarded through open competitive bidding. So if you come to look at the big push project, that's where the Media Foundation's research focus on. Out of the 140 big push projects from this particular report, contracts, 66 were awarded through single sourcing, and that represented 47.14%. 51 were done through restrictive tendering, and 23 were legacy projects inherited from the MPP administration, and that has already been awarded through a single source basis. So across the entire ministries functioning under this particular government, only 4.58% of the total 1,441 contracts were awarded under single source. That's the findings of the report. So at the end of the day, and the report went on to provide reasons and circumstances under which these very minute figures that were awarded under the single sourcing were done, justification for it. So at the end of the day, the conclusion is that legally, the ministry hasn't violated any law. They have done everything according to due processes and the relevant approvals that has been required. So the ministry did not abuse any single source procurement, and they have done their things according to the law. But that didn't even stop the president and the government, who is very accountable and listening, to even provide recommendation moving forward, how we can minimize the use of sole sourcing and to be able to get value for money. And there have been a whole lot of policies and programs under this particular government that seem to streamline the use of single sourcing and to get value for money. And one of them is the value for money bill, which Parliament just passed. And there are a whole lot of other policy decisions that has been made to make sure that Ghanaians get value for money. So my brother, this is the situation. Nothing untoward has been done. The report that was done by the Media Foundation for West Africa perhaps maybe didn't have more private information to some of the dealings. The ministry responded adequately, but the president still see the need, for the sake of accountability reasons, to let government, a committee investigate it. And the report has actually vindicated the ministry. So this is the position, and we are doing. And I think most of this has to do with the fact that this is one of the remarkable government that has started almost 2 years into the government, and there hasn't been any major corruption scandal against the government. Right. It has never happened. So I think there have been a lot of attempts to throw mud at the government in terms of being corrupt, in terms of doing things that are not practical, and all of them hasn't washed. If you look at, and there are a lot of data to suggest that, if you look at our case in the corruption perception index, we are doing well. Corruption perception in the country has reduced. Just a few days ago, Info Analytics released a report that suggested that ministers and then the presidency constitute the most least corrupt organizations in this country. So I think His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is doing so well. He's put his feet on the ground, and he's making sure that there is value for money. Ghanaians are not surcharged in most of the things that we do, and he has to provide that element of good governance that we all deserve to move forward. So I think maybe there should be another attempt, and we'll see how we respond to it.
So Mike, I beg you, we'll have to take a small breather, right on time, top of the hour 55. And when I come back, I'll get your thoughts on this matter. So you're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Please don't go anywhere. A small breather, right on time, top of the hour 55. And when I come back, I'll
Finding my dream apartment in just 2 days was a breeze with 7terragh.com. Looking for your next home, the perfect piece of land, or the best commercial property for your business? Are you worried about sending money home for property and finding nothing when you return? Well, worry no more. 7terragh.com is just a platform to find prime lands, perfect properties, or vibrant real estate development at the click of a button. 7terragh.com is your go-to property listing platform that allows you to register